disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it, man.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
You just killed a fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
You're happy because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. You're happy because you got nothing. You got nothing.
I want to get out. I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA boxing.
All right. Welcome everybody to the Boxing Podcast, broadcasting to you live from the True North. It's a good friend, Mr. BDA, and I'm glad. That's right, sure, I'm glad that everybody could be on board for this one, fellas. In this episode, we got a fantastic one for you, as we're going to be talking about the fights taking place this Saturday, some of the big fights taking place in January, and much, much more. Before we get down to the fun, let's get the business side of the way, fellas. You know the drill. If you want to donate a couple of shekels our way, you're certainly welcome to do so via the Super Chat feature. Although it's always better to join the membership program, that way you get more bang for your buck. You can also join our Patreon for free, or donate as much or as little as you want, no obligations. But the most important thing is you continue to like, you subscribe, and you spread that BDA gospel, alright fellas? Shout out to everybody in the house. I'm talking about Morb D, BDC, Epadokua, Hyperspaz, Quickslot, Team Batman Boxing, Bray, Timothy Figueroa. Who else we got in here? We got Phil Miles, King Bucho keeping an eye on things, Grim Reaper, and many more people to come, I'm sure, fellas. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Oh, yeah, by the way, buy me a coffee, too, yeah. Shout out to Paduco for reminding me about that. He says, buy me a bolsita. Nah. No bolsitas of nothing here. It's all natural here, you know. Like Margarito used to say, puro naturalito. Puro naturalito. Now, the thing, though, is we got a lot to talk about. And unfortunately, people are talking about the Janibek fight. Yeah, the Janibek fight is off. And I think that's what we're going to get started with here. Hold on a second. Bucho, can you hear me? Testing 1, 2. I always forget if I'm using the line. Well, anyway, he'll reply later on here. But yeah, listen, breaking news. Janibek was going to fight Lara.
Oh, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me? Hello? Oh, he can't hear me, he said. So Janibek was going to be fighting Erislandy Lara this Saturday on the Lamont Roach, Usyk Cruz undercard. Well, it just came out today, a couple of hours ago, in fact, that Janibek tested positive for meldonium. That tricky little PED, and so now the fight is off. No waiting to see what happens, no waiting to see if things resolve themselves. No, just boom, right away, cut him off. Very weird, since meldonium is the same thing that Alexander Povetkin tested positive for a week before the Wilder fight, I believe. Or a couple of days or a week before, and there were a whole bunch of shenanigans with that fight as well. Now all of a sudden, Janibek tests positive. I don't know why. Maybe I'll be able to articulate it as the show goes on. There seems to be something bizarre here. I don't know why. It's just my intuition. My intuition served me well in my lifetime, and there's something's off here. By the way, guys, can you hear me? Bucho Gons, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
I can hear you, Guns. I can hear you. Thanks, man. So yeah, so what do you, Butcher? I want to hear your thoughts on this. Janibek tests positive for meldonium. The fight is off on the same day. Not even let's wait and see what happens, because usually that's been the case in other fights. It's a guy tests positive on fight week, and then the fight goes on either way. This time they just, or maybe I'm misconstruing that with another event. I forget, but what are your thoughts on this, Butcher?
Well, there were rumors that the winner of this fight could face Terence Crawford. I thought that was an option, right? A possibility.
Mm-hmm.
And now that Janibek tested positive, I guess Lara would be the one that would take that Crawford fight, right? If you think
he would take that though?
Lara, of course.
No, Crawford. You think Crawford would fight? You think Crawford would fight?
If he wants a belt, at 160, I think that was the plan. No, I think. It makes sense if Crawford's gonna stay in the sport. Either he rematches Canelo, or he goes for a title at 160, so he can say that he's a 5 division world champion, 6 division world champion. I don't even know. So yeah, that's an option, and he has a belt. Lara has a belt. Janibek's gonna be out. PBC is gonna win because Lara is with the PBC. Janibek is with Top Rank.
I mean, if Crawford takes that fight, Erislander Lara, 42-year-old guy. By the way, Lara is going to be fighting Johan Gonzalez, who's I think a bit of a journeyman. I mean, can't blame him. That's what they've got. That's the best they can do at the last minute. But that's the guy that Crawford should not be fighting that dude. I mean, people are going to say, yeah, but Ennis and Ortiz already rejected his offers, or a chance to fight him. Okay, so because of that, now we got to settle for Crawford fighting a 42-year-old Lara. I mean, it makes no sense. It's a shitty fight through and through.
Yeah, I think it's a shitty fight. I think Crawford doesn't have a lot of options at this point.
Well, I mean,
think about it.
Wasn't there a
rumor
rumor
going to sell out besides Omaha?
Wasn't there a rumor that he wants $100 million? I think we were off the air for
Canelo. Yeah, somebody wrote that. I don't know if it's true.
Yeah, who knows about that? Yeah, rumors.
Who knows about that? But that's the only fight where he can actually get some attention from boxing fans or in beyond, because nobody wants to see Crawford against Lara. I don't mean nobody. Probably his fans want to see it. I really don't.
But you know what? Though,
fight a 4-year-old?
I was going to say this about the Janibek Lara fight, because again, this news just broke out a couple of hours ago. But my whole thing going into this episode was going to be that Janibek. I mean, even if Crawford were to fight Janibek, how much would that sell? To your point about Crawford wanting to be in a big money fight, because when he beat Spence, people thought, oh, there you go, he beat the man at welterweight, so now he's a star. He fought Madrimov, awful pay-per-view numbers, and they couldn't even fill out the venue, even with a stacked undercard. So just because he beat Canelo, I mean, and again, it's depending on how you beat guys. He outboxed Canelo 8 rounds to 4 or whatever. That's not exactly enticing. People don't want to see that all the time.
No.
This ain't the Mayweather era. People want excitement. And if he's going to be fighting that way against a Janibek, who, again, as far as boxing fans go, hardcores know him, forget about outside of boxing. Nobody knows who this guy is. So you're right, though. He doesn't really have a lot of options here. But
he's in the situation where, like, Crawford beat Canelo, and there's nothing higher than that in terms of excitement.
Right.
So, yeah, there's nothing.
But I mean, the Lara fight would be a huge step down. I mean, that's the other thing I wanted to talk about, because I mean, the Janibek fight is off now, and that's one of the interesting ones that I wanted to see. Even though, and this is my thing with the whole card, and I'm not going to get into it right away. I'm going to mention it later. But Gonzalo, you got any thoughts on Janibek testing positive for meldonium? The same substance, by the way, like I mentioned that 7 years ago. Alexander Povetkin.
Yeah, not really. BDA.
All right. That's
yeah,
good.
I mean, what can you say about that? I mean, it just happened. We can speculate about like conspiracy
on fight week, though.
Stuff like that.
But it is interesting. It's not even 2 weeks on fight week. That's when they. I don't know. Is it?
Listen, the pay-per-view was already garbage. I mean, not garbage. The card is good, but the fact that it's a pay-per-view, that's garbage, in my opinion.
Well, actually, I got.
Yeah.
I got an extra point to add to that against the card, by the way, because I was on the same boat, Butch. I was like, well, it shouldn't be pay-per-view, but it's not it's got some interesting fights.
Right.
Now that the Janibek fight is off, it makes it worse, and I got a couple of points that I want to make about what makes it less enticing as well, that I haven't really seen many people talk about. But first, let's talk about the card. Well,
Okay,
first
okay,
let's
that's
talk
good.
about the card. Let's talk about the good. We don't want to be negative Nancy's here. We've got the main event. This is this is going to be taking place on December the 6th from the Frostbank Center in San Antonio. Quite fortuitous, by the way. We're nearing the Christmas season, and it's taking place at the Frostbank Center. But we got Usyk Cruz, 28 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, with 18 big knockouts, taking on Lamont Roach, 25 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws, and 10 knockouts. And of course, Lamont Roach is coming off that Tank Davis performance, which, by the way, he fought the A side. There were 2 big gaffes from the referee, and then on top of that, sketchy scorecards. That means that Lamont Roach won. He got the best of Tank Davis. It's almost like, when they said that if you knock a guy out in Germany, you get a draw. It's the same thing with Lamont Roach. For all intents and purposes, he proved that he was better than Tank Davis. Just because you're better than Tank Davis, however, doesn't mean you can beat everybody else. And Usyk Cruz is a formidable foe. Curious to get your thoughts on this fight.
My thoughts. Okay. I think it's a good fight. It's a very good fight. Interesting fight. Lamont Roach is moving up to 140, so I don't know how that's going to affect him. Cruz always comes to fight, but he's limited. Let's not make this out to be like as if it's a super fight or as if Lamont Roach is moving up to fight a champion, a dominant champion. We know who the best guys at 140 are. He's not there. He's a contender, which is pretty good, right? It's not a knock on him. He's a contender. That's what he is. And I don't even think he belongs to 140 to begin with. Right? He's like 5'4". But it's a good fight. I'm gonna watch it. It's an interesting fight. I just don't think this should be a pay-per-view.
I agree there. And yeah, I agree with you about that. That he's not exactly fighting the best 140-pounder. Gonzalo, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on Usyk Cruz versus Lamont Roach. All right, you know what? You got to keep in mind, Gonzalo's over there in the Philippines. He's 12 hours.
Just making my coffee.
What's that?
I'm just making my coffee.
Okay.
I'm making my coffee, but let me
I'll
just
get back to you.
shake my brain.
Okay,
Yeah, just jump in when you can.
Shake it off. Shake it off. But now
I
listen.
want a coffee too, but it's kind of late now.
Yeah, it's too late here on the Eastern Seaboard. Now, I wanted to say this, though. The Usyk Cruz Roach fight. Roach is not a runner. He can move. I think I've seen him move before, but the style that he's implemented ever since he lost to Jamel Herring back in, I want to say 2018 or 2019, he's been fighting much more stationary, which I like, by the way, because you see what happens with guys like Oshaki Foster. We're going to get to him. When you back foot bitch it too much, the judges are liable to take it away from you. They won't give you the benefit of the doubt, unless you're an A-side, unless you're the guy that the establishment wants to win. So Lamont Roach, I like that style from him. Also, for some reason, I don't understand, he seemed about the same height as Tank Davis when they fought. And yet, for some reason, it says here that he's 5'7", 5 feet 7 inches tall. Gervonta Davis is listed as 5'5" and a half.
5'5".
Right, but
yeah.
they looked about the same height. So I don't know if they're lying about Lamont Roach's height. Maybe he's actually more like 5'6" or something.
Yeah.
And Usyk Cruz is listed as 5'4" and a half. So supposedly he's even shorter than Gervonta Davis. Now, Usyk Cruz gave Gervonta Davis a very difficult fight. Quite similar to what Lamont Roach was able to do against Gervonta Davis. But it's been 5 years since that fight, or 4 actually. And people still, they haven't forgotten about it, but they just remember that, oh yeah, he gave Tank a good fight. But they don't remember how good a fight it was. And it is interesting, though, that Rayo Valenzuela made it look easier against Usyk Cruz than Gervonta Davis did. So what I'm trying to get at here is, regardless of who did better or what, those guys had fleet feet. They had good foot speed. Lamont Roach, I've never seen him really move around that much. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to be the fastest to outbox Usyk Cruz, but I'm just interested in how Lamont Roach is going to approach this. And again, for all intents and purposes, he's got a win over Gervonta Davis. In the court of public opinion, he was the winner in that fight. So there's a lot riding here. He hasn't fought since March of this year, which is when that fight took place. Usyk Cruz hasn't fought since... Actually, Usyk Cruz got himself a fight this summer. So he's the one with the momentum. He's got two... at least the momentum in terms of activity. He's got 2 fights this year. He fought in February, and then he fought in July, which I believe was the Caleb Plant Resendiz undercard. So he's got the activity there. Lamont Roach hasn't fought since, did I say March? Yeah, March the 1st. Wasn't even spring yet. So that's another big question there. How is Lamont Roach going to handle that inactivity? And I don't know, Butcher, do you think it's going to be a good fight based on both guys' styles?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, Lamont Roach, he's not much of a runner. We saw it against Tank Davis. Kind of stood his ground so I think it's going to be an exciting fight. We know for sure that Cruz is going to bring it. That's what he does. So it might be an entertaining fight, an interesting fight, but I'm not going to. It might be a boring fight as well, right? So it's one of those, exactly, but it's interesting. But it's not a Shakur fight where you kind of know what's going to happen. You know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know quite what to make of this fight. I don't know how it's going to look. I don't know if Roach is just going to try to bait Usyk Cruz into jumping. Because we know that's what... Listen, the way Roach fought Gervonta Davis was he was pressing him, but not overly so. He was just really taking little steps forward, putting that type of conspicuous pressure on Tank Davis. And Tank Davis, his approach was just, okay, I want him to throw first so that I can counter him with something big. The standard Gervonta Tank Davis plan.
Yeah, well, he always does. Yeah,
exactly. And that's what cost him. Usyk Cruz isn't going to do that. Like you said, Bucho, that's all he does. Usyk Cruz, not the most refined fighter, but he knows how to wade in. He's got what he likes in creativity, with setting off feints and all that, or even jabbing. He doesn't really jab that much. He makes up with tenacity and underrated speed. Now, the other thing that makes Usyk Cruz dangerous is that he's very good at transitioning between offense and defense. You look at that Gervonta Davis fight. He would wade in with those hooks, and Gervonta's like, I got him. Tank would say, I got him. I got him lined up for an uppercut. And then as soon as Usyk Cruz threw that punch, he would block, boom, right away. So he's got very tight, even people were joking around afterwards that he should be nicknamed the Tank, because he really is like a tank.
True. He's like a tank. Yeah. He that tight defense, that tight guard. Yeah, nothing goes.
Go ahead, Guns.
Yeah,
I was about to say the same thing too, because one of the clips, I don't know, people say that Gervonta hurt his hand on the top of Usyk Cruz's head.
That was never confirmed.
I don't know. There was a clip where I saw Usyk Cruz pinning his elbows right on the side of his rib cage, doing a very good job of protecting his liver and you could say his kidneys as well. Basically his torso. So you saw a clip where Gervonta Davis, he hit the pointy part of the elbow because, like I said, he was doing a very good job of keeping those elbows tight to the body. And another thing that Usyk Cruz does, whether it's considered like defensively, like something that other people want to do, but what Usyk Cruz does, he's got a hard head. He points his chin down, which is a good thing to keep your chin tight to your collarbone, right? So it's not like flailing all over the place like Ryan Garcia. But also when he dips down, he's showing you the crown of his head, and his head is super hard. I remember when I was a teenager, I used to box some kids from some Chilangos from Mexico. Their heads are like a stone. They're super hard.
Yeah, they have big heads. Like the Olmec heads?
Yeah, they got Olmec heads. You're right, yeah. These are the dudes that the Olmecs would place.
When he does that, he throws that haymaker over the top, which he gets a lot of distance towards taller fighters. So he might be 5'4", but when he throws it kind of like in a kinder counter style of way. He puts his head down. He even bends his knees a little bit to get leverage, and he swings that like a butterfly, like when people are swimming in the Olympics over the top. And it's kind of have a counter motion where it catches opponents when they least expect it.
I mean, look at this. This is the famous Olmec head. I don't even know what it's called. I should, but I'm putting it up on the screen. Yeah, it's got, and then look at Usyk Cruz. I mean, come on, that's Usyk Cruz. That was Usyk Cruz's ancestor when they were building the thing or crafting it. They looked at the guy. They said, "Oh, Usyk Cruz. Yeah, that's him. That's Usyk Cruz. Look at that."
Yeah, no, you can't knock this guy out. Although he has been hurt, right?
He was hurt against pre-Tank Davis. He fought some undefeated guy on Showbox, I think it was. He got stunned, but.
Tachiro Fierro from Tijuana. That dude, he's got an iron chin too. He's never been hurt. Tachiro Fierro.
Yeah, those guys went to war.
Can Roach hurt Isaac Cruz?
If he catches him right on the tip of the chin, I mean, anybody can. Yeah, I think anybody can hurt with the other fighter. But it's gonna be difficult, is what I'm saying.
It's gonna be both guys can hurt each other. I don't think both these guys have beaten Tank. To be honest, this is my opinion. I think the closest was Roach, and that was by 1 point. And if Tank didn't take a knee for Vaseline being on his eyes, then he would have probably taken that fight for sure. But I think they kind of try to Heyman or whoever's in charge, to try to give him a lesson for being not taking big fights, not giving what he owes back to them. But reality, Tank is still a solid boxer. I don't like Tank, but I'm just saying this straight up. I think he's a solid boxer. He has all kinds of tools and shit. He doesn't throw a lot of punches, but when he's like really pushed, you see the dog in him. He comes out and he sets traps. He does all kinds of things. The guy doesn't like to take challenges, as we all know.
So wait a minute. So
Cruz
he's got
also,
the dog, but then he doesn't like to take challenges. What's that about?
Yeah,
no. It's because he likes the easy lifestyle. When you push the buttons, you get him. What's the word?
Yeah, when you push the buttons, you know what he does? He starts clinching. He starts hitting the guys with his shoulders. Starts taking knees, running over to his corner to get his ass wiped.
Best, bro. I tell you, BD, I'm not saying he's the best. I think he beat these guys though, but the closest that came to beating was Lamont Roach, and Lamont Roach, I think, will beat Isaac Cruz. It will be close, not too close, but close ish, and because of Isaac Cruz, usually his punches are coming from hooks, and Roach is a sharp puncher from the inside. He will catch him making mistakes here and there, and I think he's defensively responsible and got a good chin, enough to go 12 rounds and probably outpoint him by like 8 rounds or 7.
Well, listen,
7-5,
we shall see.
like
We shall see, because Lamont Roach's last couple of opponents, I mean, the last guy that I could determine or deem a pressure fighter was Alvarado. And he's a long-range guy who throws with volume. Very different from what Isaac Cruz brings. And also the last 2 other guys that Roach fought, if I'm correct, I think he fought Tank Davis, and before that he fought Hector Luis Garcia. And those are 2 guys that like to box from long range, and they gave Lamont Roach plenty of time to think. Isaac Cruz does not give you time to think. So I don't know what to make of this fight. I got to watch more video. I haven't rewatched a lot of video.
No, to be honest with you, I think it's a 50-50. It's a genuine 50-50. Isaac Cruz can beat Roach. He can stop him, but something tells me it's plus I think the establishment's on Roach's side, so I think they're gonna give it to him either, even if it's a really close as well. So I'm leaning Roach.
Listen, I'm a little bit.
Yeah, I think. Oh,
real quick, sorry, Frank. The odds are. What the hell is this? I don't even know how to read odds. If somebody can translate this for me, Isaac Cruz plus 280. That means he's the underdog, right?
yes. So if you bet 100, you get plus 200 on your money.
So it's almost like
I don't think Rayo beat Isaac Cruz. I think.
Oh, come on, Gypsy. I don't got time for. Listen, we'll save that
I think DraftKings is probably the more reliable one.
DraftKings.
Yeah, I think DraftKings is more popular.
How come it's not coming up here?
And more reliable. But I disagree with Gypsy. Not to trash Gypsy, but I'm just saying I think the establishment is with Pitbull, because if he beats Roach, then Stank doesn't have to fight Roach again.
Stank.
Pitbull,
These
right?
fucking nicknames. I can't believe
BDA
it.
salute you and Bucho. You guys are back after hiatus. You got done chasing that poontang.
No, man. Long story, man. We'll tell you later. But it was a long story.
Hounds out there. They're
unfortunately
back.
Unfortunately, no poontang for Mr. BDA and Bucho. But look, I want to say. By the way, I'm being modest. There was a lot of poontang. Now, but the thing I want to say is this. I kind of agree with Frank, because for years now they've been trying to lather up Isaac Cruz for that Tank Davis rematch. They don't want Tank to fight Lomachenko, or they didn't want to before. Only after he finally got old did they want to fight him. They didn't want to fight Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, any of these guys. They want that Isaac Cruz fight. And that's the thing. This fight, this Lamont Roach Isaac Cruz event, is actually selling pretty well from what I read on Twitter. So I think they're licking their chops going, ooh, if Tank Davis returns, because who knows if he's going to ever return, we can match him up with the winner of this one. And maybe they don't want Lamont Roach, who's got maybe a better chance of derailing that gravy train. Maybe they'd rather put him in there with Usyk Cruz, who we know what he's going to do. He's going to come in, waiting in, spamming the hooks, and maybe Gervonta Davis is going to be able to outbox him again this time. You never know. But both guys are still a risk for him. Because again, Gervonta Tank Davis isn't really that much superior to these guys, so it's still a risk. Now, the other thing I wanted to bring up about this undercard, so again, supposedly it's selling well. Lara versus Janibek, unfortunately, that's off real quick. A couple of hours after the adverse test result appeared, boom, they canceled the fight. So Lara's going to be taking on Johan Gonzalez. So, I mean, whatever.
Who's this guy again?
I think this is a protection. I think this is protection for Terence Crawford. I think they're protecting the American jewel, because of the fact that I like Terence Crawford, but I know protection when I see it, bro. Like, you can't be like the last fucking week, bro. Like, the fucking fight's about to start. You're like, oh, you know what? Fuck it. Just pull out the Vada test. Let him not fight. You know what I mean? Come on, bro.
Something's fishy. Yeah, something's weird.
No, it's fucking weird. It's obvious.
Hey, by the way, Chidlin brings up a great point that I didn't think about. He says, I can't believe these guys are defending Lara ducking Ramos. That's true. The PBC, he says, I can't believe these guys are defending Lara ducking Ramos as a replacement. That's true. The PBC's done that twice. When Spence got injured, when he was about to fight Pacquiao, they take a guy from the undercard, which was Ugas, and they put him in there with Pacquiao as the main event. When Tim Tszyu was going to fight Thurman, Thurman gets injured, they put Tszyu in there with Ramos, who was also on the undercard. Why not put Jesus Ramos? Excuse me, Fundora.
Yeah, because I think Ramos is fighting for a title or something, some intern title, or actually the real title. But he's fighting for a title, so yeah, against Mosley. Yeah, that's the title.
That's for a title. See, again, if people ever want to talk to me, I don't want to hear people talk to me ever again about fucking titles. This and the Conor Benn situation should just prove to you that these titles are meaningless. But people still undisputed in the 4-belt era. I've had enough. I've had it.
WBC intern title, middleweight title.
Yeah, but still, fuck that title. Lara's got another
because
one.
Lara has a real title, right? Lara has a real belt.
It's another way to tarnish Eastern European fighters as well. I mean, they try to do it with Arthur as well. Like Arthur, what's his name? Beterbiev. Tried like, there's adverse findings in his shit. It's the same thing with Janibek. Janibek is a real fucking threat to Terence Crawford. Lara is not. Lara was going to get knocked the fuck out by Janibek. I couldn't wait to see that shit happen. And this is a protection plan to their best fighter of this era from the U.S. side. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's all good. I mean, U.S. Yeah. But at the same time, it's fucking up because we want to see good fights. You want to see the best against the best.
Well, unfortunately, that one's not happening.
I don't really care if Terence makes it. I would like to see Terence get 6th division. I mean, it's my time when Terence Crawford was that good of a boxer. I don't give a shit. But clearly, this is a form of fucking ducking. That's like weaponized drug testing. Let's just say this is my opinion. By the way, it's not BDA's. Weaponized drug testing. This is what this is. They're tarnishing another guy because they like the other guy, and they want Adamas to fight Terence Crawford. I heard something like that. Adamas, if not Canelo, then Adamas.
I wouldn't be surprised. Again, I got no evidence, but my intuition tells me something might be afoot here. Also on the undercard for this Saturday card from the Frost Bank Center in San Antonio, we've got Stephen Fulton taking on O'Shaquie Foster. Fulton is 23-1 with 8 big knockouts. O'Shaquie Foster is 23-3 with 12 big knockouts. Now, I got to tell you, this fight is a tricky one because I don't even know why it's happening. Number one, Stephen Fulton just recently moved up to 126. Now, all of a sudden, he's moving up to 130 to take on a guy who's well established at 130 in O'Shaquie Foster. Guys, what do you make of this fight, and could this be the big stinker of the night?
Fight of the night.
Absolutely.
Fight of the night. Uh-huh.
Well, O'Stankey's very lackluster. I think, what was it?
Uh-huh.
Or do you like O'Cracky better?
Come on. No, go back to Ostanky.
No, I'm not. I'm serious because he stinks. He stinks. There was that fight against Conceição. He cried because he didn't want to throw punches. And he cried enough that they gave him the rematch. And then they just gave it to him. And you know, Mark Kriegel on his soapbox. Oh, they robbed him. Bro, if you watch that fight, he doesn't do anything. He was losing, like, who was it, against Nunes or some Mexican he was fighting. And I guess he pulled it off in the last round. But he has snoozer written all over him.
Well, that's the thing. Listen, Oshaki, the pro game is a difficult game. Very difficult to make it in boxing. Very difficult to make good money unless you're world class. And Oshaki Foster, he had some legal troubles outside the ring. And he's got a good resume against. He's fought Conceição twice, Rocky Hernandez, Ray Vargas, and now Stephen Fulton. But like you said, his style stinks. He's Shakur Stevenson light. He doesn't throw enough. And even that Rocky Hernandez fight, people were like, oh my God, I can't believe Rocky Hernandez was ahead on the scorecards. Why can't you believe that? The guy wasn't doing anything. He was laying on the ropes. And that's the other thing. I've said it before. Oshaki Foster actually has the ability to really do more than what he's accustomed to doing, because in that Rocky Hernandez fight in Mexico, he was clinching a lot, back foot bitching it. The referee warned him, hey, stop clinching. So Oshaki Foster then was afraid, oh shit, they're going to disqualify me in Mexico. So he actually was forced to fight. And guess what he did? Yeah, okay, he almost got stopped, but he's the one that managed to stop Hernandez. So he actually he's better than what he thinks. But these fucking guys, they got it in their head that, no, I got a box, the sweet science. The sweet science ain't helping you out, man. He already lost against Conceição. And like you said, he was lucky to get the win in the rematch.
Yeah, they know they'll get favored by the judges, is my opinion. You know, not the opinion of BDA. But also, if you want to watch one of the ugliest fights ever, watch when he actually got a belt versus Ray Vargas. And we already know Ray Vargas is awful to watch.
Well, he's the Mexican Oshaki Foster. We don't have a lot of back foot bitches, but when they come in, they're just as good as the Afro Anglo back foot bitches. Now, this fight though, look, sometimes we see a fight that looks like it's crap on paper, and then it turns out to be better than expected. Maybe this could be that. I don't know. Here's hoping. But I'm interested in why this fight is even taking place in the first place. Because like I said, Stephen Fulton just recently moved up to 126. When was that, by the way? He lost to Inoue in 2023. And then he had that awful showing against Carlos Castro in 2024. And he fought Figueroa in 2025, earlier this year. And this was at featherweight. So he just recently moved up to as recently as 2 years ago. He was a super featherweight. Now he's fighting at junior lightweight.
With the PBC, they probably can get him those fights at 126. So they're like, hey, we had an option for you over here.
Yeah, you want to take that one? I don't know. Somebody else had
we're trying to build this amazing card. You're a big name, right?
Somebody else had mentioned on this show, I don't know who he was, I forget, but that they were essentially punishing Stephen Fulton because remember, when Stephen Fulton got that Inoue opportunity, the PBC didn't want it. They wanted to rematch him against Figueroa, again, the rematch. And Fulton supposedly stood tall, pressed, and said, no, I want Inoue for that big payday. And supposedly the PBC resented him for that, and that's what they're moving.
Well, how
is
this bad for him, though? I mean, he's getting a title shot.
Yeah, but he's also fighting a guy who's bigger and
No, I was just gonna say, if this is for a title, this is the quickest route to position freaking Fulton back as like a major player for like American boxing, to where he lost against Inoue, but now he wins the title. His name is back into and where people are talking about him. He's got a belt. He's getting another opportunity, and he's back in the mix. The interesting thing about this fight, which I'm kind of curious, is like because Rocky Hernandez, he does have power. He was throwing a lot of punches, and Oshaki was able to deal with that, and eventually kind of get the win because Hernandez tired out. Well, he did win. Fulton doesn't have power. He didn't have power at 122. Now he's jumping up to 126 or 130. If Oshaki was able to deal with Hernandez's power, and Fulton didn't have it in the lower divisions, now he's coming up. Is Oshaki going to have? He probably's already like got the confidence to know, I can deal with the power puncher my size. The smaller dude that never punched is coming up. I just give the advantage for those reasons to Oshaki Foster. I'm not saying that Fulton is not a better boxer than Hernandez, but I mean, punching power and activity matter. And if you were able to deal with Hernandez's power, and once again Fulton can't crack, then Oshaki might just be able to just get up on his chest and just be confident enough to say, okay, I can also box. Let me just outbox him, and he's not going to be able to hurt me anyhow.
Well, that's what I wanted to say about that fight, because Stephen Fulton can fight on the inside. But as I often say on this show, there's a difference between knowing how to fight on the inside and knowing how to get on the inside. Like Jaron Ennis knows how to fight on the inside. He's just not very good at cutting the ring off and pressuring. It's the same thing with Stephen Fulton. When he fought Angelo Leo and Brandon Figueroa, those guys pressed him, and he decided to fight on the inside because he couldn't, win long range. Or maybe he didn't want to be running around because it takes a lot of energy. So he said, you know what, let me just smother them, fight on the inside. O'Shaquie Foster will not be giving him that benefit. O'Shaquie Foster is going to be leaping back, using his superior height and I believe reach, I got to double check, to try to keep Stephen Fulton in check. So it's got the potential to be a very, very boring fight because, again, I've never seen Stephen Fulton cut the ring off. And that's what he's going to have to do against O'Shaquie Foster. He's going to have to cut the distance too very quickly. And I don't know if he can do that. So we shall see what happens there with that one. Also on the undercard.
When is this fight?
On the undercard of Isaac Cruz, Lamont Roach.
This Saturday.
Oh.
Saturday,
All right, I'll
yes.
check it out.
Now, the other fight in this fantastic, or like the PBC, they like to say, on this stacked card. We got another great fight on this stacked card. On this stacked card, we got Jesus Ramos Jr. taking on Shane Mosley Jr., the battle of the juniors. Jesus Ramos, 23-1 with 19 knockouts. That's one controversial defeat, by the way. Shane Mosley Jr. has 4 defeats. He's fought some of the best, come up short. Although he does have a win over, I think it's Daniel Jacobs, right? Didn't he beat Jacobs? Hold on, let me just check. He's 34 years old, by the way, no spring chicken. Obviously, the age advantage goes to Ramos, who's about 10 years younger almost. He beat...
Is that correction? Is that Jesus or is that Abel? I think that's Abel. Oh, that's Jesus Ramos. Okay, my bad.
Jesus, El Mono, that's him.
Oh, yeah.
And this is an interesting fight. Chidlin said in the chat that it's not for a belt anymore. So, again, I don't follow the belt, so who knows if that's true or not. I, don't really care now. But anyway, the point is, it's an interesting fight. Shane Mosley Jr. is a tricky fighter. He's a bit of a veteran at this point, but Jesus Ramos, if he wants to make a statement, he should stop this guy, because I don't think anyone's ever stopped Shane Mosley Jr. before. He's only lost a bunch of decisions. So what do you guys think about this fight?
Is it at middleweight?
Because they mixed up the pick before, and they got Ramos at 147 right there in the picture you just posted. I thought he was a 60-pounder.
Yeah, I don't know what he did. Yeah, something's up with his website. Don't pay too much
Ramos is
attention to
moving up. This is a 160 fight.
Right.
Okay.
But
he was at 54.
Ramos is, how old is this dude? Sometimes they get it wrong. 24 years old, so he's 10 years younger than Shane Mosley Jr., who, by the way, I think at some point you should stop calling a guy junior. By the time you're 35, no more juniors, all right? You're a grown man. What's next? You're gonna wear a striped shirt and a little hat with a what do you call it, like the helicopter thing on top? Come on, it's getting ridiculous.
That's how Floyd dresses. And he's like,
that's true. 50. He's a junior. You're right. He's a junior too. No, but listen, Jesus Ramos. Yeah. When we did that, we did a survey of the 154-pound division a couple of months ago, or way more than a couple of months ago, and Jesus Ramos was one of the guys that a lot of people said this guy's got the most upside in his career compared to the other rest of the guys at 154. Now, okay, he's no longer 154, but he's young, 24. He seems to have a good gas tank. The only thing is, I want to see him fight more like Margarito or even Fundora, inside, and less trying to be fucking Zurdo Ramirez or Zurdochenko, as sobers like to call him. What do you guys think? Should Jesus Ramos be a little bit meaner in there?
He should, but that was his dad that told him that instruction versus Lubin. His dad was the one that basically put him in cruise control, from what I remember. Yeah, that's what it looked like. I mean, he should be levels above Shane Mosley. Like, he should be levels above him, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Well, that just goes to show you. Yes.
He was a big dude at 54, and he's a young cat. So I think he was only like 22, 23. So yeah, he's growing out of his the old division because he's just a big guy, and he hits hard as fuck. He's got a real good right hook. He hits like a shotgun. It sounds like a shotgun on the pads.
Well, that's why I want to see a little bit more alarm. What's the word I'm looking for here? I want to see him fight with a little bit more resolve. Urgency, thank you. Yeah, be a little meaner in there because look, he fought Lubin, right? And I know, look, Ramos isn't as explosive as Virgil Ortiz, but look at what Ortiz managed to do against Lubin, okay? But okay, if you want to disregard those two performances or the comparison, fine. Let's go with La Bala Mendoza. When Ramos fought Mendoza, he outworked him, outboxed him, pressed him, had him tired in the last couple of rounds. But then you look at what Boachuk managed to do against Mendoza. He beat the crap out of Mendoza, had him bleeding all over the place. So Ramos, it seems like he's okay with just outboxing guys from the outside. He has managed to stop people before. But then again, you look at the guys he stopped, and like, for example, I'll give you an example. The guy that Lara is going to be fighting, Ramos stopped him, okay? He stopped Vladimir Hernandez. Okay, he's the king of the journeyman. He managed to stop him. Couldn't stop Luke Santamaria, who's a tricky fighter, by the way, tricky mover. Joey Spencer, that's the big beating that he put on the guy. But okay, Joey Spencer, come on. Tim Tszyu stopped him too. So couldn't put a dent really in Lubin, even though I thought he won. But again, didn't beat him up or anything. And then ever since then, he's on a 3-fight stoppage streak. But against like Johan Gonzalez, Jason Rosario, who's shot at this point, and Guido Emmanuel Schramm. I mean, come on, that's not even a real person. Guido Emmanuel Schramm. That sounds like an Italian Nazi or something. I don't know. Fellas, what do you think about Ramos? Am I wrong here? Should he start letting his hands go a little bit, especially at middleweight?
I have kind of like an unpopular or a strange take, but I think the new generation of Mexican Latino fighters, I think a lot of them don't like the stigma of Mexican style. If you watch, all the clips, people post clips of their kids and they do all the fraud May runner, pool noodles and what's those things they do with the mitts, that clown behavior?
The 15 punch combination where they're just tapping it and looking at the camera.
Exactly. So a lot of these guys, they want to prove, the Mexican fighter want to prove they can box. I've seen it happen so many times. They get in there and they're like, I'm going to outbox you. Like, oh my gosh, like that's just the worst thing you can do. Just, and an uncle who used to box of mine, he talked about killer instinct. Either you got it or you don't.
But you see how stupid... how stupid that is, peer pressure, because the Mexican style, so-called Mexican style, whatever, it's worked for 60 years. Mexico has one of the greatest boxing cultures out there. It's a third world country with a third of the population of the United States, and it's still up there with the United States. But now it's because of the propaganda and the optics, like, the movers and the back foot bitches. And of course, really, back foot bitching really only shines or manages to work well when you get the judges and the referee on your side. I'm not saying that all back foot bitches have those advantages, but that's one of the reasons why it's become popular in the last couple of years, because the referees allow guys to dip below the waist, clinch, stall the action. Mexican style, when it's done correctly, it's actually better because you show the judges, hey, I'm coming forward, I'm banging the crap out of this dude, and I'm beating this guy up, going to the body, depleting him. And, guys like that can still get robbed, but it's a little bit more difficult to rob them that way. You know what I mean?
agree. Just one quick thing, BDA, when I was in the gyms and I tried doing that fancy shit, they told me to knock the fuck off.
There you go. That's a good gym.
It's true. I mean, I think that's what Canelo tried to try and do. Canelo tried to outbox. He tried to outbox Mayweather. He tried to outbox Crawford to a certain extent. He should have just imposed his physicality, his aggressiveness early on. He's trying to jab, take his time. Like, man, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. The noodle thing, Canelo also did the noodle thing. But the padding thing that Mayweather does, that's just fucking weird. Look in one direction and just like the pads, it's just the noodle thing is primarily for like reflexes. Like soon as that's what it's for. I mean, like you can do it really, really faster. I'm assuming than what you can do with the pads to get the reaction. But plus, you're not really hitting, so it's pretty much foam. So it's for like reacting in time, so you can, strike when you need to. And there's a reasoning behind it. I've seen some top level guys do it, like Canelo and obviously Mayweather. I do believe there is a place for it, and I don't see it for the other one, the fucking pad shit that he's looking in one direction and just, the coach is just doing the work for him. Telling him just hit this way, it's stupid. I unless that's like helps in I guess rhythm in some way.
Now, listen, you
Maybe
lost me,
the
man. Now, I
yeah.
wanted to say
I know
this.
I'm lost on that one too.
Yeah,
I'm
you kind of
on that
lost.
one
You kind
too.
of lost me, Gypsy. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I gotta tell you. You went on talking about noodles. Now, then you started talking about coaxial cables or whatever. I don't know where you're going with this. But the other thing I wanted to say here is FuTV in the chat says blame Ali. So he's blaming Ali from all the way back to the 1960s for that whole
what?
back foot. But actually, Ali, if you look at that first fight against Frazier, he had Frazier all busted up too, and I think Ali looked like he was slapping, but evidently those slaps hurt, man, because
Yeah,
he
the
managed.
fight would the fight, I can't even speak today. The fight
Actually,
with
BDA.
bitching is with Floyd. I started with Floyd.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
you
the
had
one.
Purnell, but he was like an anomaly. But then Floyd, everybody tried to imitate Floyd. That's the problem.
If you pay attention to that Frazier fight with Ali, if you look closely at the gloves, you'll see Ali has his hands slid down halfway through the glove,
Oh, yeah,
so
the
his
Tyson
knuckles in
Fury
the
thing.
laces, and that's why he looks like he's slapping, right? Because he's really
You know
hitting the
what?
full part of his unguarded front knuckle.
Thank you for the correction there, Sobers. There you go. So disregard everything I said about Ali being able to punch. It was all the gloves. The gloves weren't put in position, in proper position. By the way,
Yes.
also
He was
on the
hitting
undercard,
him with his knuckles. Yeah.
also another fight on this stacked PBC card. Frank Martin makes his long-awaited return. Frank Martin, 18-1 with 12 knockouts, coming off that loss against Tank Davis all the way back in 2024, taking on Rancis Barthélemy, 30 wins, 3 losses with 15 knockouts. Now, here's what I want to get to with this card. Okay, this is what I wanted to get to, Bucho, about how there's a lot of negatives against this card. First of all, now that Janibek Lara has fallen apart, the fact that it's pay-per-view, the fact that the main event isn't really worthy of a pay-per-view. Here's what we got. Lara hasn't fought since September 14, 2024. Over a year ago. And he's in his 40s, by the way. So that's the guy we have on the undercard. O'Shaquie Foster hasn't fought since November the 2nd, 2024. That's when he fought Conceição in the rematch. Shane Mosley Jr. hasn't fought since July 6, 2024. That's the summer of 2024. Over a year ago, well over a year ago. And Barthélemy hasn't fought since April the 27th, 2024. Oh, excuse me. And then Frank Martin, of course, like I said, he hasn't fought since he fought Tank Davis, June the 15th, 2024. You're starting to see a pattern here. Some of these dudes haven't fought since 2024. they haven't fought at all this year. Some of these dudes haven't fought in over a year and a half. And you're asking us to pay 70 plus buckaroos for this? I say no, sorry, Bob. Now, you know what I say? I say this.
I said nigga never.
No, I'm not gonna pay for this. Who's gonna? I'm curious. I think I already know the answer, but who's gonna pay for this?
Nigga never.
I mean, it would have been.
I am
it
just
would
like
have been worth
every card.
paying. It would have been. It would have been worth paying if Janibek was still on the card. I would have loved to see the Lara and.
They took him off the card?
Yeah, well, yeah, they took him off. He's the main event.
No, he's not the main event.
Because of one little adverse finding.
What? Wait a minute. He was not in the main event. Janibek versus Lara wasn't the main event.
I mean, the main event. The main event is Cruz against Roach.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay. Then that's still pretty good. I mean,
yeah, it was a co-main event, right?
Both of them are good. I mean, it's worthy of that. Just those 2 fights alone, yeah, it's worthy. The other ones, nah. But those 2 fights.
All right.
So the next PBC card should be Plant against Charlo, right?
That's what they're saying, right? Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm
Sobers
trying to guess who's gonna be in there, but yeah.
Sobers, you got anything? Again, we got no proof, no evidence even. But isn't it a little bit strange that Janibek was being talked about as an opponent for Crawford? Then all of a sudden, Vada on Fight Week comes along. They catch him with meldonium, which we haven't even heard of, or at least I haven't heard of it since 2018. What do you think about this? The possibility of anything fishy going on?
Are you suggesting that Victor Conte rose from the dead to contaminate Janibek's his piss?
he contaminated the piss. I don't know. I don't think I don't know if that's still possible.
I think that's a good idea. I think that's a good theory. I think it's very plausible, and you know what I mean. He probably already had things in place where he's like, okay, well, we already had these these directives in order, right? So he's like, upon the event of my death, just go ahead and keep those things going. You know what I mean? Because it's funny that Janibek was talked about as a Crawford opponent. Right? They were acting like they wanted to fight. I'm like, oh, we're gonna be at your next fight. We're gonna be watching you to see what's up. And then so it just so happens that he pisses hot. Right? He's never done that before. He just happens to do it this time. I bet you they're gonna find a replacement opponent for Erislandy Lara. And then watch Crawford turn down that fight. Watch him. He's pricing himself out of that Canelo fight, that rematch. I need 300 million if I'm gonna fight Canelo again, right? And now all of a sudden, I'm gonna go watch you, Janibek, and see how hard you're looking. Janibek's out the way. Now, who's the guy now? Who's the guy with the belt at the weight class? Erislandy Lara. Watch him, give him some bum. They're gonna have him fight. Who's the one that
They already said.
He's gonna fight Rod Saka. He's gonna fight Rod Saka, right, to defend his 160 belt. Gonna look spectacular, and then Crawford's gonna be like, I'm gonna fight Lara. What?
He already announced his opponent. Who is it again for Lara?
Joan Gonzalez. Joan Gonzalez. It's a guy that Ioannis Tellez and Jesus Ramos already stopped. And he's a strong dude. He's got a little bit of panache to him, but certainly nothing to get excited over on pay-per-view. Now, that's the other thing, though, is you mentioned the Victor Conte thing. Look, deductive reasoning suggests that if you have the inside scoop on PEDs and all these chemicals and whatever, you might have access to a good necromancer. I don't know. That's all I'm saying. There is such a thing as those guys out there. You have the connection.
Well, yeah, but the PBC cannot afford to lose a champion at this point. I mean, who do they have? Who do they even have? That's the thing. They have Lara.
By the way, guys.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, I figured out what's gonna happen with AJ and Jake Paul.
All right, but could you hold on? Could you hold on that?
Yeah, I'm gonna hold it. Yeah, I'm gonna hold it.
Put it in the back pocket. Put it in the chamber. We got a live one in the chamber, right? Just warning people. We got a hot take from Gypsy Boxing Style. And I don't even need to say. I don't even need to preface it by saying hot take, because they're all hot takes from Gypsy Boxing. They're like hotcakes. Now listen, I wanted to mention this because it is official. It's been announced. January the 31st. That's right, January the 31st. Teofimo Lopez defending his undisputed. That's right, I said undisputed.
Yeah, he's undisputed.
Junior welterweight championship against Shakur Stevenson. The people the new guy that the establishment's been trying to push and shove down everyone's throat. It's going to be headlining Ring 6. So we're expecting a jam-packed undercard January 31st in New York, which I believe is New York City. I'm pretty sure we're going to see Fu TV there trying to make his way in before they escort him out. This is what Teofimo Lopez had to say about the fight. They are trying to bring a lightweight to take over Teofimo. So he's speaking in the third person. It's not going to happen, he said. Crawford sent out one of his little guys to do the job, and that's not going to work. I'm still going to be here, and if he's still going to be in boxing, talking about Crawford, I would love to face him right after. He is the man. I'm going to get Crawford later on at 160 pounds. If Crawford can go up 3 weight classes to fit Canelo Alvarez, why can't I? Fellas, what do you think about this fight, and what do you think about Lopez's confidence going into it?
Love the talk. I love it. That's what you should do. Call these guys out. I hope and pray Teo takes Shakur out before he can pick and choose and do Floyd Mayweather's blueprint.
So repeat that, sir.
I hope I'm praying Teofimo takes him out and he can stop the fraud Mayweather 3.0 blueprint before it gets started.
Mr. Cringe's approach. I think Teo is the most cringiest motherfucker, but I like his confidence. I don't hate the guy, but I think he's very cringy. His confidence I like. I think he has a shot at beating this dude, and that's being very honest. He really has a shot at beating him. I'm not saying it's 100% no, because that fool has, the running advantages, the actual running. There's only one guy in boxing that realistically runs. Others like clinch, like Haney. They still fight, but they clinch. This guy actually runs, and his name is Shakur Stevenson. And that's his only shot of, running, jabbing, getting a little bit of point here and there, but pulling off rounds here and there. But I don't think he is going to be able to for some reason. Not for some reason. I know the Jermaine Taylor fight is the best example, actually, where people thought that Lopez lost. Lopez did not lose that fight. The same guy that Lomo also beat. Lopez did not lose that fight. Lopez
you lost me. Did you say Jermaine? You said Jermaine Taylor. You said Jermaine Taylor.
I made a mistake with the name. Was it Jermaine Ortiz
Right.
The
Right.
fucking
Right.
yeah, Ortiz. Yeah, Jermaine Ortiz was that. Yeah, it's very it's gonna be similar to that because this
Bro,
fool's not gonna want to engage. If he gets engaged with Teo, he's gonna get knocked the fuck out or dropped. He's a very chinny dude, and we noticed it with this last fight with who was it, Zapata?
Mm-hmm.
He's got a chin. His chin is not gonna hold up if he does that, so he's gonna be on a back foot, actual back foot bitching and running, by the way, and he's gonna hope for a decision. But I think
bro, Gypsy must kill the fast food workers. I'm telling you. Sheesh.
Teo is you know, Teo's that guy. If they don't, and his dad, if they know that they could beat you, and they're like in on it, they're gonna do it. I mean, unless it was the only mistake they done was Cambosis because they thought his chin is gonna fail on him.
Yeah, I thought they underestimated
him. But when they know that they can take you, him and his dad, they have a plan. That's why they settle. They put it in fucking.
I don't know how much. I don't think that the father has any idea, but yeah.
Yeah,
you see that the father really doesn't.
I mean, come on, this is the guy. You gotta go in there, go get him, go. Like, what the fuck is that
He was
advice?
drugged up, bro. He was high as fuck. But when his his shit's on point, his shit's on point. He's on point. That's why he listens to his dad. But I was gonna say something about Lopez.
Well, let me say this. Let me say this.
Yeah,
let me say this because I think already most people are just going, oh yeah, Shakur Stevenson. Some people are even saying Shakur Stevenson easy. And I'm thinking, look.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Look,
Glazer said that. Yeah.
The book on Teofimo Lopez is well established. He doesn't do well. He's a natural counterpuncher. He doesn't do well when he has to initiate the action. That's true. We saw it against Andor Martin. We saw it against Nakatani. People forget about that fight. That dude kept him at the end of his jab, and Lopez didn't look good. He even looked good. He even looked bad, against another. What was his name? He was a European guy that he ended up knocking out with a body shot, but it was a weird fight where he wasn't looking all that great. Then, of course, the Jermaine Ortiz fight. But here's the thing, though. The Subriel Ortiz didn't land shit on Ortiz didn't land shit on Teofimo Lopez. What I'm saying. So people say, "Oh man, he didn't lose that fight, Lopez. The other guy just refused to engage." And again, that's the type of fight that I was advocating. Teofimo Lopez should have started each round just circling away from Ortiz too, saying, "You don't want to fight? Fuck it. It is what it is. If we get a draw, I'm getting the belt. I still keep the belt." And I think that's what he should do against Shakur Stevenson. He should just stand in the middle of the ring and say, "You come to me." But anyway, I'll get to that later. So what I'm saying is, yes, Shakur Stevenson is better than Sandor Martin and Ortiz, but I don't think he's that good by that much. I definitely think he's got better balance than Teofimo Lopez and better defense, but we've seen how he acts against guys who have quick hands and who can crack. We saw against Nakatila, the African dude. We saw it against Edwin de los Santos. This dude just doesn't want to engage. And I suspect it's going to be that type of fight. It's going to be like that little snippet we saw of these dudes sparring when they were young. They're just going to be looking at each other, and every time Teofimo Lopez flinches, Shakur Stevenson is going to go flying from one side of the ring to the next. And then if he's lucky, if Shakur Stevenson is lucky, he might be able to land one punch here, one punch there, and maybe they give him the decision. But if the establishment has had enough of Shakur Stevenson, which unfortunately I don't think they have, the fight could go either way. I don't see. What I'm saying is, I would favor Shakur Stevenson just based off the advantages that I gave him. But those advantages do not mean that he's going to school Teofimo Lopez. And again, depends on which type of judges they are. Could go wrong for Shakur Stevenson.
PDA, I was going to mention another fighter, the British fighter, the one that was supposed to be undisputed and was robbed. What's his name? The guy. It was the tip of my tongue and I forgot his fucking name. The guy that fucking fought Josh Taylor.
Catterall.
See, Catterall was a guy that he avoided. Teofimo Lopez didn't want that guy because it's a tough fight. I'm not saying he will lose for sure. No, he's a talent. Catterall's very, very good, man. He just got on a short stick on a few fights that he shouldn't have gotten a short stick for, but That's the name of life. It's fucking who's more lucky. So that's how it is. He avoided that good because he knew better. This guy, there's something, and even Haney is stylistically not a good matchup for Teal, even though Haney's a clincher and all that shit. Stylistically not a good matchup. There's something they see here, him and his dad, with Shakur for them to sign up. It's not because they're cashing out. No. They smell something.
Well,
And
maybe. I agree. It might be a Bill Haney. It might be a Bill Haney, Brian Norman Jr. situation where Bill Haney, who's the mastermind behind the Haney phenomenon, is the one that knows how to pick and choose and do those calculated risk type of fights. So maybe you could be correct. Now, I want to say this about the Teofimo Lopez Shakur Stevenson fight. I don't understand why people are expecting Shakur Stevenson to dominate Lopez. I have a difficult time seeing. I would pick him to beat Lopez, but I'm not so sure about dominance. What do people mean by dominance anyway?
Okay, first
after Crawford beat Canelo, we heard people saying that he whooped Canelo. He made it look easy. I'm thinking, how come he only landed 15?
People get carried away now. If a fight goes to a decision, a guy gets a decision, and that guy who won is now they say that he whooped his opponent.
Right.
Yeah.
So
these people can make anything they want.
But
can I just say something? Let Meese in the chat says Shakur literally just needs to land a good punch every round, and they'll give him the round. But he also said that. Here we go. They're trying to push Shakur Stevenson, not Teofimo Lopez. So Shakur could basically do what he wants, and he'll get the win.
But that's the thing.
I'm with him, man. I'm telling you.
But that's the thing. Both guys have bad
reality, man. We've seen it.
Both guys have gotten into it with the Sheik. Both guys have gotten into it with the Sheik. So I understand why this obsession with the Sheik pushing these back foot bitches. And that's the other thing. Look, if Teofimo Lopez had the mechanics of a William Cepeda, that would be a much more interesting fight. But look at this. I was just rewatching the Stevenson Cepeda fight. According to CompuBox, and look, I don't always trust them, so who knows how true this is. Cepeda didn't do that well in terms of average or percentage connects. But look at this. He threw 979 shots and landed 272 shots. And Shakur Stevenson landed 295, so he only landed 23 more, according to CompuBox. This is supposed to be the defensive genius, and he is very good defensively because he's got a very unorthodox style, leaning back, and I've never really quite seen something like it before. But he's there to be hit. Oscar Valdez, by the way, again, that's another. Oh, he whooped Oscar Valdez. And then they show a picture of Valdez's face. Like, you see, he whooped him. He dropped him and whooped him. It's like Valdez was landing a lot of right hands on Shakur Stevenson. They had a plan going into that fight. They just couldn't deal with, Shakur Stevenson was a bigger guy in there too on top of that. So this Lopez thing, I mean, again, I'm picking Shakur Stevenson, but for people to say that Shakur Stevenson is going to do it easy, Lopez is very
Are the
quick.
commentators going to be influencing the public opinion?
Of course.
Yeah, BDA, you mentioned the punch stats. I can't, HBO used to really highlight the punch stats. I can't. Does the Zone still do it? I'm trying to think. I'm like, they don't really highlight it after the fight, do they?
No, they still do it a little bit. They still do it, yeah.
But the HBO really, use that as a tool.
Yeah, the Zone doesn't show you all the CompuBox numbers right after the fight. Remember, who was it? Letterman? No, who it was Lampley, no? He would talk about like the power punches landed and all that. I don't think they put that much emphasis on those.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Zone doesn't put that much emphasis on the punch stats or numbers.
Well, you know what? One thing I've noticed is, now that you mention it, they put it with a light font. In other words, they're not in bold. In HBO, yeah, you're right. When they would put in the CompuBox
right after
things,
the fight.
Well, during the fight. When HBO would do it during the fight, they would put in a horizontal graphic and it would be in bold. If I'm remembering correctly. So you could really see it. Now what they do is, on top of that, you got the little box on the left-hand corner with the round and the fighters' names?
Yeah.
They
drop those numbers.
They put something on top of that, a vertical column with the numbers, and they do it with a very light font. So it's kind of difficult to read. And you're right. They don't emphasize it that much. Now that
They're hiding the
you
truth.
mention it. They're hiding the truth.
I got Lopez winning that fight by decision, possibly with one knockdown.
He's not getting a decision. Well, he needs
I know.
to drop it.
No. You know why? Because I think he's gonna drop him once, maybe even twice, and they're gonna just see that as how people, when they see knockdowns, are like, "Ooh, that guy definitely won. That guy definitely won. He dropped him, so he definitely won." It might be that.
Stylistically,
Who's gonna look bigger?
I see.
Who's
How
Yeah, go ahead.
Shakur's got the habit. He's got the habit of leaping back like he did against freaking the Dominican guy. Well, Teofimo Lopez likes to leap in. So if the one guy's leaping back and Lopez is leaping in, due to his quickness, and his athleticism, he might be able to catch Shakur when he's trying to take that step back.
Well, that's
But
interesting
it can
point
also
there.
go the other way.
Go ahead, Gon. Sorry.
It can also go the other way. If Lopez is leaping in and Shakur's countering him on the way in, it could go the other way too.
He can't
Yeah,
leap
but
in. He needs. Yeah.
that's the thing I wanted to mention is that Teofimo Lopez, I was rewatching the Barboza fight. One of the reasons why I picked Lopez to beat Barboza was because I think he's a little bit better boxer than Barboza, and then on top of that, he's much more agile and quick. And Barboza just didn't know what to do with him. But even if you rewatch Lopez fighting a guy who's about as quick as he is, like against Jermaine Ortiz, again, Jermaine Ortiz isn't landing much on Lopez. Lopez is very quick with the upper body and with his reflexes. So again, for people to think that Shakur Stevenson is somehow going to school him and just tee off on him, it's not going to, especially when Shakur Stevenson also is going to be looking for the counterpunch. So it's going to be a very uneventful fight. That's almost a guarantee. It's about as close to a guarantee as you can get in boxing, that it's going to be that type of way. So all I'm saying is, I don't understand why these people are going on and on about how Shakur Stevenson is going to whoop Teofimo Lopez. Now, the other thing is, Teofimo Lopez had this to say about the fight. He says it's about setting a good pace from the opening rounds and going from there. I don't see him going the 12 rounds, so he thinks he's going to stop Shakur Stevenson. This is the first time moving. This is his first time moving to 140. A lot of people can say whatever they want about me, not knocking them out, but they don't try to fight me after feeling my power. It's for a reason. My power carries. You saw with Barboza. I had a good showing. See, but that's the other thing, though. That's the other flip of the coin. Yeah, Teofimo Lopez, like I said, he's not an easy guy to fight. But also, he beat Barboza, but he was doing just enough to outbox him. He was touching him to the body here, a little right hand there, a little flurry there. I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe, if you want to beat Shakur Stevenson, you got to load up on some body shots. Because the guy doesn't like those body shots. I was check out the round 9, real quick. Round 9 of Cepeda, Shakur Stevenson. Cepeda hurt Stevenson to the body, and then as soon as he got hurt to the body, and Stevenson tried to play it off like like wing, and then as soon as Cepeda started throwing again, the guy tries to wrestle him. So we know that the guy can be hurt to the body, but it's just a lot of these dudes that they're and also Hartunonian hurt him with a left hook. So what I'm saying is Lopez has to go for it. He's not gonna get a decision, even if he does get the best of Shakur Stevenson boxing from afar. The judges aren't gonna give it to him. For some reason, the establishment is infatuated with Shakur Stevenson, so he needs to load up on those body shots.
Yeah, right off the back, they have Shakur as a 3-1 favorite.
Well,
What?
Sorry, Frank.
Yeah, he's about 3-1 favorite right now.
Oh God.
Right off the bat.
We got Shakur's a left-hander, right?
Yes.
So his liver sits on the trail leg. So if he's got to load up, he's got to reach in, because it's not like the liver is on the front as a right-hander. Correction. So Shakur, he's gonna have that liver sitting on the trail stance. It's gonna be like keeping his elbow pinned to protect that liver. And if Teofimo really wants to get that shot in, he's not only have to step into the wheelhouse, he's got to step to catch Shakur to that trail leg, which is about 6 to 8 inches further away from it sitting on the front.
Look, man, Lopez, when he shows up, he will win. If he shows up, he's gonna win that fight, and because they have a plan, and I feel like it's gonna work. Shakira or Shakura, whatever you want to call him. That guy is he thinks he's a boxing finesse, whatever he thinks himself to be. He's not. And the Edwin Dos Santos, if he had to prove me wrong, the Edwin Dos Santos fight was the most obvious. That's an L on his resume that's not actually there, just like Haney has an L against Ryan Garcia that's not there. That's the same thing with freaking Edwin Dos Santos and Shakur. Yeah, he's not that guy, and he's gonna if Lopez comes at his peak and doesn't exactly do what he did with Ortiz. He gets a little bit more, let's say, cuts the angles a little bit better, puts him in a box, puts him in that corner in the ring, that fool's gonna get found out real quick.
I mean, I don't know. Listen, Shakur Stevenson, as much as we like to shit on the guy for his antics, he's actually very slippery. He's a slippery Pete, I got to tell you. So, and Lopez is ill-equipped to deal with such a slippery Pete. I just think it's going to be an eventful fight, and they better stack that card. They better stack it like a stack of pancakes on a Saturday morning, because if they don't, Mr. BDA might not be paying for it. Let me tell you, he might be going to Casa de Sobres.
Yeah, because the main event might be a piece of trash.
Well,
exactly.
That day is also Xander Zayas and Barasu for free. I mean, I'm assuming.
On Facebook.
So it's on the same day. And I think PBC is rumoring a Charlo Plant pay-per-view that day too.
Yeah,
so it'll be a big day. Maybe. I don't know. I just seen that on my feeds. But yeah, Xander's fighting that night also, right?
And another stacked card incoming from the PBC. They're gonna have who are they gonna have on that card? They're probably gonna have somebody like Brandon Lee, probably hasn't fought in a while. They might have Edwin Rodriguez, the 118 pounder that they used to have. Maybe one of the Gary Russell brothers, right? I think that's going to be the card there. Oh, and not forget, maybe the return of Demetrius Andrade. Maybe he comes back after 2 years off. I mean, you never know. That's what they got over there with the stacked cards at the PBC. Now, yeah.
What about Andy Cruz versus Muratala? That's a good fight. Or
when is that fight, by the way? That's in January. January.
Yeah. I don't know. I think 17th, maybe.
Well, that's a news.
But can I just say something about before you move on with Teo and Shakir Twitter sim? I'm definitely gonna go and say that Teo being the 3-1 underdog, he's gonna need at least a knockdown or two.
Mm-hmm.
Even when Ryan got those knockdowns, he still barely won. I think he won a split decision, right?
Majority.
So he will need a knockdown or two. And if people say, "Oh, it's a conspiracy theory," no, the odds this is complete disrespect. You guys can say it's not or feel how you feel, but the lineal champion, Teo is the lineal as the champion, being the underdog to a guy who's never fought at that weight. I find that complete disrespect. I don't know what you guys think.
It is disrespect. That's because Shakira is coddled and loved for being absolutely shit. You know, I mean, in professional.
Come on. Let's not go that far.
No, let me just say one last thing. No, this is an elite level fight. I mean, this is a treat. Now, as far as how it plays out, but these guys, don't make no mistake, they're the best guys. Shakira is extremely talented and good at what he does, and Teo's a high level talent. So this is the best versus the best.
That's right. Now, that's the other thing I wanted to say, by the way. Can't wait to hear Shakur Stevenson on Twitter and in the press conferences all the way to build up to this fight, talking about how he's going to whoop Teofimo Lopez. He's going to put belt to ass. I'm gonna make him regret taking this fight, blah, blah, blah. And then it's going to be a fight where he throws 200 shots, lands 70. The other guy lands 50 or something, and then he calls it a whoop, and he jumps on the top rope corner, starts banging his chest like, yeah, like King Kong, like I just did something. I just knocked this guy out. Meanwhile, it's the same thing. I don't understand why people keep buying the same shit from Shakur Stevenson. He said it against De Los Santos. He said it against Hartunonian. He said it against William Cepeda. I'm going to whoop you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then he goes to decision. And he holds...
He might actually get the belt to ass against Teo. He's the one that probably will get the beating. He'll be spanked really, really, really bad. He'll be put in the corner for a lesson. It's possible.
It's interesting possible. Though, because this is going to be again, people always like to focus on the Afro-Anglo side of Shakur Stevenson, but he's also Puerto Rican. He was representing Puerto Rico a bunch of times with the Puerto Rican flag. That's him. He's saying it. I'm not saying it. So it's a Puerto Rican versus Honduran fight, which we don't usually see in boxing. Usually Mexico, Puerto Rico.
You mean to tell me he's a little bit of inbred? Is that what you're telling me?
I mean, that's what he says. And that's what
he's a little bit inbred.
That's what the DNA show. That's what the DNA test. By the way, that's why I think he's so slippery and unorthodox with his style, Shakur Stevenson, because of the Puerto Rican side. Because remember, the Puerto Ricans also had the radar. That's Wilfred Benitez, one of the greatest defensive fighters of all time. And he wasn't even like it's a style that you cannot teach. The Benitez and Shakur Stevenson style. It comes natural. It's something that you need to have great reflexes for. And so, yeah, man, the Puerto Rican side of Shakur Stevenson, it's going to be interesting. Puerto Rico versus Honduras. That's the way they should market it. But for some reason, I don't think they will. The other thing I wanted to bring up here is, moving on, In the news, Eubank Jr., and I'm putting it up on the screen if you guys look at it on YouTube. Eubank Jr. vows to fight health issues before considering a ring return. A video surfaced of Eubank Jr. lying in a bed with some sort of contraption in his mouth and some tubes up his nose. And this is what he had to say. He said, I've been dealing with a lot of health issues over the last year, and yeah, it all finally caught up to me last month. I will not box again until I'm back 100%, and I don't know when that will be. But one thing's for certain, for the fans that have supported me through thick and thin, I will do everything in my power to make sure that one day the old me makes a big comeback. So first of all, it looks like they're fitting him for an apnea mask or something. You know, it doesn't really seem like he's undergoing that bad. What do you guys think might have been the issue here? And do you think he's blowing out of proportion?
People are saying cutting weight, but apparently that he had issues before that. I don't know.
Super dehydration, bro. The first fight, especially, it's super dehydration. And just dehydration, super dehydration. The first fight when he was walking into the ring, bro, he looked like a straight up dead man. He was stumbling. His feet, he was like concentrating on putting one foot past the other. That fool still beat fucking Conor Benn. The second one, I'm pretty sure he had done enough damage in the first fight to his body that his punches, his power had nothing behind it. There was nothing there. I mean, this is why. This is why he's coming out with this shit. Does not surprise me. I mean, he has really damaged his, I don't know what, liver, who knows what other part.
The
kidneys.
liver.
The kidneys. When your liver is bad, then your whole body starts to feel weak. That's why his punches weren't there, and all kinds of shit, man. Like, this fool is struggling now. Hopefully he's all right. He doesn't die on us like 2 years from now or something.
Nah, it doesn't. I mean, come on. From cutting weight.
But how could Conor Benn celebrate that win? How could Conor Benn celebrate that victory? To be honest,
well, Conor Benn's a bit of a
guy. Fucking not
listen,
even
like they say in England.
You know,
like they say in England, Conor Benn's a bit of a bellend. That's what they call him over there. A bit of a bellend. These dudes. That's what it is in boxing. As long as you get the win, doesn't matter how you get it. That's all that matters for a lot of these guys, like Andrew Ward. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. And by the way, Miso Dionysian in the chat, Epadokua in the chat says, is he doing a sleep apnea test? Yeah, that's what it seemed like.
Also, that's the thing, that it could be a PR stunt. Like, he's all hooked up and shit, and he's like, he pretends to be unconscious or something. Like,
Miso Dionysian says, Miso Dionysian says, ball gagged. So there's some sort of like S&M thing going on. And then the quack says, proctology exam gone wrong. So that's where these guys are taking it. That's what type of stuff.
Eubank is not a guy that is likable, but that's why he gets a lot of shit for it. But when he was saying his nail fell off in the press conference leading from the second fight, that is just fucking. I mean, what kind of dehydration you doing? I mean, he was saying that he was in a sauna for the first fight, just to make right before the first fight. Like he came off the sauna to step into the fucking ring, bro. That is horrific. Like, that's why he was walking the way he was. Like,
listen. As much as I dislike those dehydration clauses, why is this dude taking it? Why is this dude doing it twice? You know what I mean? It's like you're fighting a welterweight.
For the money, bro. For the money. He signed the contract. I'm pretty sure the contract, probably the first contract, said that he couldn't, rehydrate himself if he won or lost. It doesn't matter. He's still going to fight the same way he fought in the first one. So he was forced to honor the contract, and he's the type of dude that likes to honor his words.
How about honoring your balls and saying, you know what, I'm not going to go through this rigmarole again. It's disgusting. It's a circus, and it's beneath me. That's what he just said. And I know it's easier said than done. Look, somebody offers Mr. Old BDA 50 mil to dehydrate himself to fight one of you scrubs, even though it's easy, to beat you guys up. I would still be dehydrated. And would I really go through the whole thing just to appease certain people out there? That's the big philosophical question that I don't really know quite how to answer. So hopefully Eubank Jr. is okay. Because again, that he, like Gypsy was saying, he really did put his body through a lot of strain, and that shit ain't good. You can pull it off if you're Devin Haney and you got snack and you're in your 20s. But when you're in your mid-30s, can be tricky. The other thing I wanted to mention was Alexander Usyk in the news. He said the green belt is because he's over there in Thailand for the conference, the WBC conference. I don't know why they're holding it in Thailand. I guess because a lot of Thai fighters have won WBC belts in the lower weight divisions. Maybe that's what I'm assuming. So Alexander Usyk. What's that?
I think there's some a lot of workers for the WBC that are from Thailand. I think.
What type of workers? What type of services do they offer? If you know,
I will not get into that.
A lot of happy ending massages, or maybe a couple of other stuff. I don't know.
Oh!
Anyway, listen. The point is, Alexander Usyk was there, and he had this to say because again, they took a belt away from him, right? So he says the green belt is always my favorite. I should have 4 belts. Some people are saying I'm not undisputed anymore. Well, that is only temporary. So Alexander Usyk, it would appear, is going to go for a 4th time undisputed. What do you guys think about that?
At this point, it's ridiculous. He's the champion. See, they just take one belt away, and then he just gets it back, and now he's a 3-time, 4-time champion. It's ridiculous. It's like holy, he's 4-time heavyweight champion. He's not a 4-time heavyweight champion.
What about Pacquiao?
Ruiz. Again, this is why I don't get it. Dude, when I rate Pacquiao historically speaking, I don't. The first thing I say is like, he beat this guy, and moved up multiple weight divisions. The first thing I don't say is he's a 13-time champion or some shit like that, because against who? This is the same shit we Mayweather. Remember, he beat 14. How many champions did he beat? 14. I don't know, some crazy number,
like 20 something.
20 something. Then you look at Victor Ortiz. Seriously? Yeah.
I heard that he wants to fight Wilder. But
okay.
Oh, ridiculous.
That's what I was going to get to. Apparently, the LDBC, whatever's left of them, actually ended up making a lot of videos. I think they ended up making a lot of videos about this because Usyk ended up saying, I want to definitely continue fighting next year. I will continue boxing. I want to fight Deontay Wilder, he said. For me, I think it's very interesting. Wilder is a world champion guy. I don't know what that means. Very famous guy. No, he's not that famous. This is a strong guy, not really. And he's one of the greatest heavyweight fighters of the last 10 years. Now he's gotta be trolling, right? Like he's putting it on. Like I think he's trying to make fun of Wilder or something.
He's trying to get some money, man.
Maybe, you know what? Usyk is a good guy, and maybe he heard that Wilder needs money, so he's saying, "Hey, I'll give you a show. Why not?"
He's avoiding that 3rd fight with Fury. That's what he's doing. What I'm saying, he's avoiding that 3rd fight. He knows what's up. It's not gonna be easy. But neither one of those fights, it might look easy, the second one. The first one was definitely not easy. But the second one looked easy, but it definitely wasn't easy on his body. The training and the fight itself. He just said it was easy. No, the 3rd fight is not going to be easy neither. It's not.
Well, he's getting old. He's getting old, and he's the smaller guy, so he needs to compensate for that by doing much more than his opponents, right? Because he's smaller. But he wants to fight for a title that they just took away from him, right? Is that it, BDA?
Apparently.
Okay, so which belt was it, and who's going to have it?
Fabio Wardley has that title, from what I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so he will be fighting then Wardley. So
let me go to my trusty champion.info, and it says here, heavyweight division, Alexander Usyk is the WBC champ. Somehow Caballel is also a champ there. Usyk is also the IBF champ and the WBA. Okay, so they took away the WBO. Why is he mentioning
and Wardley has the WBO, I think, now.
Right, yeah, that's what I said, yeah.
Okay.
Check this out,
why not fight? Yeah, what?
Okay, real quick, the WBA. Check this out. Alexander Usyk is the super champ. What the fuck? Hold on. Alexander Usyk is the super champ. Kubrat Pulev somehow is the regular champ, and Wardley is the interim WBC. three guys walking around with belts, calling themselves champions. Wow, very legitimate.
Where Kubrat Pulev fall into this shit, bro? How is he still around?
I don't know, man. That's what I said. Somehow he ended up. I've never seen Stranger Things. I've never seen that show, but apparently they just started a 4th season or something like that. That's what they should call boxing, Stranger Things, because. There's few stranger things than the sport of boxing. How does Kubrat Pulev somehow end up with a regular WBA belt? That is insane. That is absolutely insane.
Ukrainian? Is Kubrat Pulev Ukrainian?
No, he's from Bulgarian. I think he's Bulgarian.
Bulgarian.
Yes.
He must have some connects, man. He
What
must
the
have
fuck
some
is the
solid
regular
connects.
champion then? I'm confused. And then intern champion. Oh my god.
But why
No,
call
but you
them
know, if
regular?
you're Usyk, you take a worldly fight in the UK, you
It's like
sell
a full
out a
metal
fucking
jacket.
huge arena, you make a bunch of money.
Oh yeah, he could do that. Yeah, he's not going to do that against Wilder in the U.S. I can tell you that right off the bat.
Nope.
Check out what Wilder had to say about Usyk back in June before Wilder fought in Kansas City. The Kansas City shootout is what they call it. This is what he said about Usyk. If Usyk is still around when the time comes, it's a no-brainer, he said. I think it would be amazing. I'll fight him if he's ready. Next year could be full of surprises. He said before that he wanted to fight me, and I hope he still feels the same way. What he's done has been great, and I am happy for him. He came in and got the opportunities that I couldn't get because I was too dangerous.
Oh my god, this guy's a fucking clown. And by the way, he gets stopped by Usyk, huh?
Yeah, I'll feel yeah.
He gets stopped, like, literally knocked
For
out.
sure, he gets stopped. He only got a puncher's chance, but his puncher's chance has left the building, though. That's the problem. His reflexes are shot and everything.
I
Like what
agree.
he used to have, that one trick pony ability that he had, he doesn't. He's gun shy now. He can't throw it.
I just realized you guys couldn't hear my sound effects.
Yeah, exactly. And then Wilder's complaining about his career, the way it went. No, they didn't want to fight me. That's why I didn't get. Oh my god! So first of all, he admits his career was pretty much incomplete. So even though he had like 9 title defenses, supposedly, remember that?
Right? Yeah.
He's admitting it was all bullshit because he couldn't get the fights that people wanted. So
Right.
what were those 9 title defenses were garbage at the end of the day. Think about
Look,
it.
Wilder ducked a few people, but one thing he didn't duck is AJ. I can 100% tell you
No,
that.
I think he
definitely ducked AJ.
Okay, man, he definitely ducked. I mean, like, where's AJ doing
Before
right
before
now?
Ruiz got that fight, look when Miller pissed Top for everything, before Ruiz got that fight, they offered it to Wilder and they turned it down, and then Ruiz stepped in because he reached out to try to make it.
Yeah, listen, that's the
he
thing
could have
that
knocked him out that night.
that's the
But
thing
if
that
Wilder
pisses,
knocked him out that night instead of Ruiz.
that's the thing that pisses off
I
a
don't
lot
know,
of people.
man.
That's the thing that pisses off people. That's the thing that pisses off a lot of Wilder fans. That's the thing that pisses off a lot of. That's the thing that pisses off a lot of Wilder fans is the fact that Ruiz actually has a better resume than Wilder. Think about it. Wilder, their common opponent is Ortiz, Luis Ortiz. Ruiz beat him, and then on top of that, Ruiz has the AJ win. That's better than Wilder's resume, which is Ortiz and what, a draw against Fury that he shouldn't even have gotten.
His record is garbage. We know this. Like,
His record is garbage, but one person I still believe is AJ that ducked him.
why
bro.
would he be afraid of a guy that's been exposed multiple times? That's the thing. I don't get it. If
Why
anybody was
why
afraid,
did
was
he not close this chapter in his life and fucking challenge him right now? Like he's fighting Jake Paul. Why didn't he? Why do you
why fight a guy that's washed up? Why fight a 40-year-old Wilder at this point when you can make some money by playing Jake Paul?
You like you guys said, like it doesn't matter how you beat him as long as you beat him. That's how a lot of these guys think. Like just look at Lennox Lewis. He was so happy beating Mike Tyson when Mike Tyson was far from where he used to be. He still thinks that Mike Tyson was lesser than him. It's the same thing right now. You put him in his fucking place, even though he's not at his peak anymore. He doesn't.
Yeah, but you know what?
want to do it.
Tyson was on a winning streak, even though he wasn't fighting the best. When it comes to Deontay Wilder, he's been looking like complete fucking shit. Like Zhilei Zhang knocked him the fuck out easy. Parker outboxed him, hurt him. So, and then Wilder's last fight was in a garage or something. I don't remember where it was. It was dark. It was nothing.
But it's still worth it. I mean, just do it, finish it. People are always gonna be. There's always gonna be. Okay, you guys don't say he ducked Wilder, and you say the opposite. But there's other guys that, like myself, who think that Wilder was ducked by AJ.
Okay.
So
Would you
finish
rather
the
see, would you
job.
rather see AJ? Would you rather see AJ Wilder or AJ Fury?
I would like to see both actually, but
No. You gotta pick one. You gotta pick one.
AJ Fury, I guess.
Yeah, of
Yes,
course.
that would be good.
It's a no-brainer.
No brainer, but that's the thing that I was going to talk about with Jake Paul and but you guys said hold it, so
I got
All
it.
right. Well, listen.
you want me to say
I
it?
want to hear what Jip has to say.
Yeah,
Was
I
it?
think that he's gonna go in there and knock out Jake Paul, so he can get all the fans from Jake Paul, so they can set the fight with Fury and
That's already set up.
that no, that's the set. That's the thing. So that the whole point is to go in there and knock his ass out. If he and like within a round or two, just like how he did with they set up with the Francis Ngannou thing. So the Fury and AJ fight would take place. It's the same thing. This one, they're trying to reignite this shit, and Fury is just waiting for him to do
They're
this.
gonna sacrifice Jake Paul. I
Yeah,
think
they're
so.
gonna sacrifice. They're gonna, and it's all set up. It's already, Joshua's in a higher position in the Brotherhood, if you know what I mean. In the Brotherhood.
I don't know what you mean. Okay, wait, hold on. Phone lines are open. People
Yeah.
call in. Phone lines are open. The numbers on your screen.
Let me go to the phone lines here real quick, and then we'll get back to this. So go to 336. 336. You're on the air. 336. What's on your mind?
So I got to do some shit after this. So I'm gonna make this quick. I have a question. Why is Teo legitimately an underdog against Shakur, aside of the fact that the establishment clearly wants Shakur to win? Why is Teo actually an underdog? Because if you look at who he's fought, the different styles he's fought as well, he's a much more battle-tested fighter. He's fought plenty of southpaws, just like Shakur is. He's a much more athletic, dynamic fighter. He has great defense. People look at the Kambosos fight 4 years ago and think that's how he's going to show up. And it's very common, throughout boxing history for guys in their early 20s coming off of their best wins of their career to lose. You had Duran do that against Esteban de Jesus at lightweight. Well, it was actually at 140 after he beat Ken Buchanan. So these things happen all the time in boxing. And I'm hearing people saying Shakur is going to stop him and beat him easy. Who is he beat to make you think he can do that? What has he shown in the ring? He's not very athletic. He has a wide stance. He's very hittable. He's not some defensive savant. I mean, Zepeda's not an elite fighter. He's not even better than Barboza. And Zepeda had 200 punches on that guy, and Shakur barely won the fight. But Teo beats Barboza, who's naturally bigger than him, 11 rounds to 1, and saying that Teo's going to get just dominated. I don't get it. And people talk about titles and him being a world champion and all this shit. Even a guy like a Jermaine Ortiz and Sandor Martin are technically better fighters than really anyone Shakur has ever fought in his entire career. Valdez is one of those guys that looks for one punch at a time, doesn't have good boxing ability, isn't a good combination puncher. He's just a sluggard, bum Mexican fighter. He's just a little bit better of the version of Puma, the guy fucking Bam Rodriguez beat up. He's just not skilled at all. So Shakur hasn't fought nobody. I think Teo's going to beat this guy pretty easily. And if Shakur comes to win, he'll get knocked out. If he comes to survive, he'll lose the fight convincingly. But I don't know if the powers that be are going to let Teo win because
I don't like you bad-mouthing or Puerto Rican brethren, but it is what it is. But hey, I'll say this: I got to ask you, based on this whole Shakur Stevenson thing, if somebody were to ask you, if you had to rank him, what do you think are Shakur Stevenson's top 3 wins that define his career so far?
Well, I'll get to that in a second. But actually, I'll do that first, and I'll go off in a second. So I would say Zepeda is number 1. I guess Valdez. We'll say Valdez 2, Conceição 3, something like that. You can switch between 2 and 3. But yeah, I would say his last fight was his best win. And Zepeda, think about Barboza for a second. He beat Catterwall and Ramirez before Haney did, and he was ranked number 3 or 4 in the world. Teo wins every round against them, and they kind of brush it under the rug. Shakur, goes life and death with Zepeda, and they call it a domination. And it's the same shit they did with Crawford and Canelo. Crawford barely beats Canelo 7 rounds to 5, and Canelo dominates the first 6-7 rounds of the fight, and they call it a domination. Canelo doesn't deserve a rematch. It wasn't close. The bar is set so low for these Afro-Anglos that they can do the absolute bare minimum and be called masterclass defensive savants when none of them are. Shakur isn't, and Crawford isn't. Teo's got much better reflexes and defense than both of them, and he showed it in his last, 3-4 fights. So Teo's going to win this fight easy. I do think Shakur's a good fighter, but he's not a pound-for-pound level guy. He's not, from the eye test, I don't see anything special with him at all. I think Teo's what, fans don't want him to be because they don't like the way he talks, whatever it is. But he's far more tested than everybody, including Haney. And he's going to make it look easy. He'll make it look easy. I just hope they don't rob him or put up some bullshit because they don't want Teo to win. Establishment does not want him to win the fight at all.
All right. So, well, we'll see about that.
And he's fought many southpaws. He's fought top southpaws. One last thing, too, before I go. When we talked about how Abdullah Mason beat Noakes in a close fight, now look at Noakes, look at Zepeda, right? Their resumes are kind of similar. What makes people think, what would make a Shakur fan confident that he could go in there and beat Keyshawn Davis or even Abdullah Mason? Who has he beat in his career that would make you think you would actually favor him in some way to beat Keyshawn Davis or Mason? Because those are all 50-50 fights, in my opinion. We can look at Teofimo Lopez and see the quality of fighters he's fought: Jermaine Ortiz, Lomachenko, Taylor, Martin, Barboza. He blasted Coleman in 2 rounds, and we can say, based off of those performances, I could say I'd favor him to beat guys like Keyshawn Davis and Mason. But Shakur hasn't put in any sort of performance that would make me think I would comfortably pick him to beat those guys. So how could I pick him to beat Teo? I just couldn't do it. So this kid is the most overrated fighter in boxing. Even though he's good, he's not that good. He's not what they think he is.
Well, we shall see.
Also, I'm going to kidnap Bucho and put him in an adult diaper. I'm going to put you in a diaper, Bucho.
That's funny, man. Hey, listen to our
that's sexual for sure.
Yes, that's real funny. Hey, by the way, shout out to Ed Dog for his contribution with the super chat. Really appreciate it. Excuse me, not super chat. The buy me a coffee. Shout out to Ed Dog. No, excuse me. Is it E Dog or Ed Dog? I always forget. I call him Ed Dog. But shout out to Ed Dog for his contribution with the Buy Me a Coffee app. He says, "Salute, guys. Finally, we got a live stream. I thought BDA was still too busy not maxing to do a video." Well, for people that don't know, we talked not maxing. The not maxing community is a community on Reddit that they take all sorts of supplements so that they can shoot bigger and thicker ropes, if you know what I mean. They pride themselves on shooting only the thickest and longest of ropes. Ejaculation is what I'm talking about. So that's what. That's. I wasn't busy doing that, by the way. Although I do know the supplements. I got in here somewhere: zinc, magnesium, and a bunch of other stuff. Celery too. They say eat a lot of celery. That's exactly what it is. Anyway, listen. The point is, we're still taking phone calls here. The phone lines are open. The phone number is right there in the left-hand middle portion of your screen. Shout out to Dora, who just called in. Let's go to a phone call here. Let's go to 410. 410. You're on the air. 410. What's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Oh, Jerry, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, man? Shakur and Teofimo, I can't think of a fight with 2 big names like that I'm looking less forward to. Shakur Stevenson has shown, he's shown that he'll stick the joint all the way out. Even in that fight against Zepeda, if Zepeda didn't force that fight, that guy would have stumped that joint out just like he almost always does. Teofimo Lopez, conversely, I'm going to be honest with you, this guy's had some big performances against Loma and Taylor. But in other fights, whenever his athleticism can't get the job done, he becomes boring too. He starts touching his gloves to his elbows and crossing his arms and that bullshit and hitting his heels. That shit ain't entertaining. It's just, he's kind of like, and I've seen it before with like Zab Judah and others. If he can't do what he does, if that doesn't work, he has no other plan. That's why you've seen the inconsistent performances from him where, he won his 2 biggest fights. Then he's had other fights where it's like, dude, I don't even know if you won that fight. It was a nothing burger. And you put the 2 of them together, man, I hope to be wrong, but I think it's going to be a straight up snore fest.
So you're telling me even if they stack the card, you will not be purchasing it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I buy these fights sometimes just because I'm home and I'm a boxing fan and I just treat myself, I mean, so I'm not a good barometer for that, because, a lot of times, I'm a boxing fan. What can I say? I would hope differently. I would hope, because Shakur Stevenson, I can't stand that little gap-tooth bastard, but to be honest, I've seen at times where he can be sensational, but he just doesn't do it enough. He just doesn't apply it. He's more willing to run from combat than to engage in it. And I get it. He's a boxer. I don't mind that. But man, if you got all the boxing skills, use them. Stay in the center of the ring like Pernell Whitaker used to do, and stand your ground and use your defense. Don't jump 4 feet back and slide around the ring and avoid combat. It's just it's just not. I just don't like this sort of style. And I just think the matchup is bullshit. But let me move on to Usyk. I don't blame Usyk for wanting to fight Wilder, and I'll tell you why. If you look around the landscape, I don't know who else he could fight. He's beat Joshua twice. He's beat Fury twice. Both good competitive fights, I thought. And he's beat Dubois twice, and he's beat others. And the last guy there, even though Wilder, Fury beat the beans out of him in those fights and basically ruined them. Wilder is washed up by most people's standards, but still, he probably will make the biggest fight right now because outside of the other guys, what do you got? Wardley, Polev. I mean, you got some misfits. And Wilder, love him or hate him, he does represent one of the guys of that era. It was Usyk, Fury, Joshua, and Wilder. And I wouldn't mind seeing Wilder take another pummeling. I mean, I never get tired of that. But yeah, Fury, if he beat and Usyk against Wilder. Yeah, Wilder's got a very limited chance there. Usyk is probably going to beat the pulp out of him, but he will have the proverbial puncher's chance. That's what'll happen. It'll be limited at best.
Well, we shall see. We shall see indeed. I don't think that fight happens, by the way. I think Usyk is just trolling. I think they put something over there in his food in Thailand, which I would never leave my food uncovered, especially overseas. But hey, we'll see what happens, man. But listen, Jerry, we got to move on. But thank you for your call. Call back next time.
Hold on 1 second, brother. Hold on. Bro, hold on. I think it could happen. If they offer him the right money, he's going to do it. I truly believe that. But lastly, Roach and Pitbull. This fight's not getting enough attention. That is a great matchup. And I'm going to take Pitbull Cruz in that fight. I think he stops Roach in the second half.
Whoa. All right. Well, listen, hey, that's as
yeah.
I don't know how it's going to go, but now that you're saying Cruz stoppage, I might rethink that. I might rethink how that goes. Well, listen, Jerry, thank you for your call, man. Great points.
Pitbull's a hell of a fighter, man.
Yes.
Great. All right, buddy.
No, go ahead, man. Oh, he hung up. All right. I think I rushed old Jerry too much, man. But listen, he made some good points, I got to say. It's just we got to keep the show moving, though. That's all. But what do you guys think? You think Isaac Cruz stops... Oh, shit, what the fuck? Yeah, you think Isaac Cruz stops Lamont Roach?
I said no. Everybody's saying yes. There's a possibility. I have a friend where I work at. He says yes. So I made a bet with him with $20. I say no, and I made a decision.
All right. you listen, I don't know what it is with you today, Gypsy, but you're confusing me with your takes, man. And they're more confusing than average, or than usual, rather. We were talking about Shakur Stevenson versus, what's his name? Teofimo Lopez. And I'll never forget how, and look, I don't like the fact that these people are calling in and making fun of our Puerto Rican Latino brother, Shakur Stevenson. I still remember, by the way, when he came out with the Puerto Rican flag. I'm going to put it up here. There you go. That's after the Conceição fight. He was really repping Puerto Rico 2022. And some people got mad. Some people on Twitter were mad, the usual suspects. And they're like, we're not going to forget what Shakur Stevenson did after he got all that support from us. And now all of a sudden he starts turning Latino. I was like, what the fuck? It's like, he's half and half. He's not one of the other 100%. What do these people want? But the other thing I wanted to mention about Shakur Stevenson was when he stung the joint out against Nakatila and against De Los Santos, especially against De Los Santos when he had, who did he have with him? He had Andrew Ward, Crawford, and somebody else, right? I think Clarissa Shields or something. So he's trying to say like, hey, I'm the next big star here in the USA. And he stung the joint out worse than anyone ever did in that year. And then instead of apologizing to the fans, and again, he did the same thing as Nakatila, he apologized to those guys first. Hey, I want to apologize to Terrence, my big bro Terrence, and I want to apologize to Andre Ward. And I'm sorry. And then he came up with the excuses. I wasn't ready. I didn't want to make no excuses, but and then come out the excuses. So he doesn't care about the fans. In fact, somebody on the Discord said that this dude has actually said before. I gotta find the quote, but this is what somebody claims on Discord. That he said sometimes you gotta say screw the fans. That's what he said.
Oh, yeah,
So,
Look,
yeah.
I
By the
have
way,
no problem with. I have no problem with that.
He's half Puerto Rican. His dad is the dude that came out in the movie Ghost. What's his name? Patrick Swayze. Willie Lopez. Willie Lopez. The guy who got his face scratched by the cat that was chasing Demi Moore around the apartment.
He's the guy from Ghost. Oh man. But yeah, so that's what we've got there with.
Look, BD, I have
go
no
ahead.
problem when you say you don't care about your fans, but when you don't care about yourself neither, I mean, you go out there and run like a sissy, then you're actually fighting, and you call it a fight.
Well, that's the
Edward
thing.
De Santos. Can I keep reminding Edward De Santos, the guy that's been ducked by Keyshawn as well? I mean, he didn't even rematch it. Obviously, who would want to see a rematch with him and that guy again? Because he ran the entire fucking fight.
Of course he did.
I mean,
come
this
on.
guy, yeah, this is a sad individual. What is he? I mean, you guys talking about Haney. Haney is a horrible matchup for him, by the way. Haney will frustrate the crap out of that dude. You'll beat him too. Shakur will not be able to beat Haney. Haney's
That's
more
what you know.
tested,
What
more experienced.
I talked about this a couple of days. Well, last Friday in the morning, I talked about how the Haneys were actually chasing Shakur Stevenson. That's what because they know they have a good chance of beating the guy because again, Shakur Stevenson is not gonna. People look at Shakur Stevenson, they think he's Pernell Whitaker. Pernell Whitaker would actually sometimes stand in there and go to the body, trade with guys. Shakur Stevenson can't do that. He's a one punch at a time type of guy. Sometimes a combo here and there, and that's it. He's not when he fights guys who can match his speed. He's gonna look very bad. I'm not saying he's gonna lose because I do think he's a little bit better than Haney and Teofimo Lopez, but I don't know for certain. Again, he's not. Listen, when I think about guys that dominate Usyk, Inoue, those guys have power, especially Usyk now, and they can get their opponent's respect. I don't see that with Shakur Stevenson. I think he's good at stalling the action and working his way from there, but he's not at that type of guy where he's going to impose himself physically on guys. So yeah, that's what I've got with that fight. I mean, I don't understand what people. And like Jerry said, was that?
When he punches, it's like it's like the bag barely moves when you see him fucking do like shots on the bag. You see, there's a video of him. Yeah, when you see it, there's a video of Lopez side by side, and you see Lopez landing shots on the bag, same size bag by the way. And you see the bag move, this like oomph in it. Then you see Shakur fucking do the same thing on the back, like it's like barely moving, and he sounds like a girl punching the bag. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro.
Whoa.
It was very.
I mean, he's got some sting with the left hand, but it's a combination of two things. The fact that he doesn't believe in his chin will never allow him to sit in the pocket and try to like dig into his punches too much because he's going to be worried about what's coming back.
Exactly.
So it's a combination of not 100% power, not full confidence in his chin.
Yeah, because you know what? I've seen clips of him hitting the mitts, and you can tell he's working on the arc of the shot. So he's got a good closed arc. But then when he actually fights, it's you know what it is? Again, that unorthodox Shakur Stevenson style where he's always got most of his weight on the back foot, ready to lean back. So even if you hit a guy and put a lot of oomph on that shot, you're never gonna get as much oomph as if you actually had your weight on the front foot a little bit more. But that's he's focusing too much on the defense. The other thing I wanted to say was in regards to the Lopez fight. I forgot what I wanted to say. Anyway, it will come back to me. Don't forget to hit the like. The phone lines are still open. Don't forget to call in. The phone number is right there in the left and middle portion of your screen. I was going to say something about Shakur Stevenson's power or lack thereof. When he hits the bag, when he closes the arc on the mitts, well, he hurts his hands too on top of that. So I don't know. Maybe it's also the way he fails to turn over the shot. That's what
he got good speed. He can catch you between shots.
That's a big one too. The hands. I forgot
He
about
got,
that. It's true.
yeah, he can catch you between shots. That's his only serious advantage he has. But when it comes to like actual power, he lacks it. He tries to counter you through the punches, and that's how you hurt his opponents.
Mhm.
That's why he sticks to pure boxing. But there are boxers that are better than him and have fast hands and got power. So that's what I'm saying. He's overrated, and they also move better than him with their legs as well. There's this Edward dos Santos was that guy. I just keep mentioning this dude, but he was that guy that moved, had the legs, had the power, had everything. And he didn't want to engage. He knew what was going to happen. As soon as he engaged with him, he's getting knocked the fuck out, or he's going to get dropped. At least, like how Haney got dropped against Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
That was,
by the way,
that was when he knew he was scared shitless. He backed away.
By the way, the other thing I wanted to bring up again, another indictment on the alphabet organizations. Conor Benn, who just ended up beating up a dehydrated Chris Eubank. At least he got his revenge. We got to give him that, I guess. Has just been he's been made the #1 challenger for the WBC title in the welterweight division, I believe. Yeah, the welterweight limit. He hasn't fought in the welterweight division since 2022. So first of all, I don't know, what is it about this picture here? Looks like he's in the toilet or something. But also, speaking of being in the toilet, boxing appears to be in the toilet. Guys, what do you think about Conor Benn being ranked #1 by the WBC in the welterweight division now?
Not a surprise.
No, he's winning money. The WBC. Yeah, the WBC wants their 2%. What? How much is it?
3%, isn't it?
3%. Yeah, exactly. But wait, Barris is fighting Ryan Garcia, so he would be fighting the winner. That's a money fight.
Well,
Big
yeah,
money fight. If
Garcia.
Ryan wins,
They've been talking about Haney too, so you can tell this was already pre-planned way before. And so, yeah, now the WBC is getting in the act. Because, I mean, let's say Haney fights Conor Benn or Ryan Garcia, the winner of Garcia Barrios. They can make it a unification, right? Well, not unification, but, they can involve as many titles as they want or whatever. So, yeah, I'm unsurprised by that. But just goes to show you, whenever people come up with that, well, this belt or that guy's got a belt, or, when people say Virgil Ortiz hasn't fought a champion, who gives a shit? These titles have really been divested of their worth in the last 25 years or more than that.
Yeah, but to be fair, if you look at the names at 147, it'll be like you mentioned that guy earlier. Like, are these people, do they even exist?
Exactly. Yeah.
In the 147, the rankings, if you look at the names, I don't think we'll recognize anybody.
I don't think you would. No, I agree. I don't even know. You asked me who's the WBC champ at middleweight, lightweight. I don't know. And I don't care. I go by the Ring Magazine ESPN rank.
Especially at 147. Like the names I've literally I don't even know if these guys exist.
Mm-hmm.
Or who have they fought. The only one I like, Rocha is fighting Curiel. I think that's a one, there's Blair Cobbs, Rocha. Who else is at 147? This Giasov guy.
I mean, the fact that you had to bring up Blair Cobbs just goes to tell you everything you need to know about the lack of talent right now in the welterweight division.
Santillan, that's who Norman had beat. And everybody's an email champion at 147. I don't think anybody legitimately won the belt.
No, you're right.
Oh, that Lewis Crocker, isn't it Lewis Crocker? Like, he's this newfound name they just pulled up. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I've never seen or heard of Crocker before.
I don't think I've ever seen him either. And I don't really much intend to. But I want to see.
Where's Jack Carroll ranking 147? We need Telekinesis to break him down. He knows all the unknowns, right?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Yeah, Telekinesis brings up some interesting predictions. I'm curious we got Fu on the panel here. I don't know if he's around, but I'm curious to hear his prediction for Isaac Cruz versus Lamont Roach Jr.
What's up? What are you wearing?
What the fuck? What?
Yeah, you can say, what are you wearing?
That's what I heard. What the fuck's going on, Fu?
BDA always wears Gucci, bro. Always wears Gucci. He's a Gucci guy.
Right. Not really.
That's a good sound effect. This isn't.
You know what? Forget Roach Cruz. I think I saw you talk about Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson. What do you think? Do you agree with some of these callers who say it's going to be people are underestimating Lopez, or what's going on here?
Yeah. They're underestimating him. I mean, this guy's never fought anybody as athletic as this. A guy who's just going to be showboating and dancing around in there in front of him, smiling in his face. I mean, what is he going to do? But he's just going to touch him with little touches. He's going to laugh at him. Like, no joke. He's probably going to be dancing around and laughing at him. Like, that guy got no power. He has nothing. And if he was to try to back up Teo, he would slip something and come right back. Right? He hit him with something. He hasn't fought anyone like that. No one. So,
but
it just... Wait, go on.
The flip side to that coin is that it's true, though. Lopez isn't very good at putting pressure on. Even if the other guy can't punch, he's still not very good at cutting the ring off or getting close. So what do you think about that?
I think he's good enough. I think he's good enough to pressure a guy like this. This guy doesn't really pose much danger outside of running away and tapping you. He's not a dangerous dude. Like, I watched the Zepeda fight, and he's just throwing a bunch of, like, inaccurate slaps and like, partial slip. Like, blows aren't even landing solid. Like, Zepeda's barely even moving, and this guy's missing punches. I don't know why they say he's accurate. He's really not. He just pokes you with a shot here and there. The most dangerous shot with Shakur Stevenson is a stab to the body. It's a left straight. That's it. Outside of that, the guy literally has nothing. He throws open hand slaps. Like, I don't think Teofimo would have a problem. He can literally run up to him. Just run right at him. And then slip and rip. Hit him with something.
I agree with you. It's kind of like, it comes with the territory of Benavidez. You're sacrificing power, not because those guys can really punch you. They can, but instead of throwing little to no shots, they're throwing many. They're throwing as much as they can. So when you throw a lot, you gotta take some power away from the shots just to have the ability to throw more. And the thing with Zepeda, in difference to Benavidez, Zepeda has no punch variation, like you said, only a stabbing shot to the solar plexus, but he's not really mixing it up. He don't got the variety of Zepeda has, as a Benavidez has, because if he had the variety, you would be able to sneak more shots. You would be able to sneak more shots, but you're not, because the opponent gets used to what we're talking about. The punches are beating him. So he has no variation. About Benavidez?
He was comparing Benavidez to
the... There's a comparison, because Benavidez throws a lot too. He lets his hands go like Zepeda, but Benavidez has more variation to where he can get the job done and hurt you because it comes from different angles. And Zepeda, all the while, he does have a good puncher too. The selection is limited, and that's why he's not getting the job done.
Well, Zepeda has a very good jab. Zepeda was punching Shakur Stevenson in the gloves. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know what the fuck he was thinking in that fight. I don't know what he's keeping his hands down there. It was some brain dead ass shit.
Yeah, that's actually a good thing for Teo, because Teo now knows you go and you just stab him to the body, stab. He's going to keep his hands low. He's going to tuck him. That's when you come over the top with the left hand, and that's the shot that's going to hit that guy. That's what I said when I was calling the fight. Kid Austin's going to lay him out. It's going to be a left hand, and Teofimo actually has a decent left hand. And again, Zepeda showed what you do to that guy. You back him up. Like I said, you get him on the ropes. He has the same defensive move almost every time. He either pulls back or he pulls to his right. So it leaves an opening there for that left hand. Watch, dude, this guy's going to set him up. I think Teofimo's got him. Well, that's why you saw Shakur in the interview. Look at the body language and the confidence in these two guys at these the two events. They did two events now, I think. Like, Shakur's like, he's like, I know how to beat him. And he has this dumb look on his face. Like, he has no idea how to beat that guy. I saw their sparring. Teofimo was fucking playing with that guy. That guy he's just looking for some money.
That was a 50-second clip, though. How do you surmise all of that from?
I'm going to analyze it, you son of... I'm going to analyze it, watch. Dude,
all I'm saying
Teofimo has no fear of this guy.
Listen. I understand what you're saying, Fu, but again, you gotta be... Yeah. I understand what you're saying, Fu, but you got to be able. Lopez has to be able to get there to get those punches, and I don't think he's got the. He doesn't have the footwork.
But he doesn't really pose much danger. That's the thing. He don't pose a lot of danger. That guy. I heard someone earlier talking about Teofimo blocks his body and does all this stuff. Yeah, he brings his arms down, he blocks his body, and he's slipping his head all over the place. What's Shakur gonna do then? If he's doing that, what's Shakur gonna do? Hit him with a badoink? I mean, he doesn't really pose any danger. This guy.
It's gonna be like. It's gonna be like Ortiz versus Lopez. It's gonna be like It's gonna be like Ortiz versus Lopez. And if the judges see fit to give it to Stevenson, they're gonna give it to him. Even if nothing happens in the fight.
I think so.
He walks. He goes back in straight lines, bro. He's gonna get caught.
He does. He's open for that straight left that Teal throws, and Teal will hit him with that. You know, he's shown that he has very explosive left straight.
His lateral movement is gonna be. He's gonna be surprised when he explodes on him and catches him with that lateral movement as well. Like there are things that Teo can do, but he's not. He will catch him going backwards. That's for sure. That just because he goes back and his next answer because he gets his back leg gets stuck in the zone over there and he just jumps. That's to avoid getting hit. That's his way. And they say this guy is the same level as Bivol. Bro, he's not even close.
All right, now listen, we got
who are they comparing to Bivol? Shakur on the ball?
Yeah, bro. You should see how they're comparing Bivol and Shakur the same, though. They're not, bro. Shakur is far below. And
I mean, Stevenson. Listen. Stevenson's never fought anybody. Forget about Bivol beating Beterbiev. Stevenson's never fought anybody on the level of Canelo before or beaten. So yeah, I don't know why they're comparing them. But I'll say this because we're running out of time here, real quick. I just checked it out. Remember, Lomachenko didn't throw a lot of shots against Lopez in the first 6 rounds. I think he threw a lot of more punches in the second round, and then he hurt his shoulder, and that's when he stopped. So this is about 6 rounds of activity from Lomachenko. He landed 141 punches on Lopez. Okay, that's 141 shots. I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on those punch stats at the end of the Shakur Stevenson-Lopez fight, and I want to see if Shakur Stevenson, the younger, bigger guy than Lomachenko, can do as good or better than Lomachenko in terms of landing the amount of shots. Because if he can't, that's an indictment on him. And again, it just goes to prove how good Lomachenko was and how people give him very little credit because they thought he was being overhyped. But then for that's the reasoning. Some people, when I asked people, hey, why do you dislike Lomachenko? Why do you root against him? Oh, it's because ESPN hyped him up. Then why don't you root against Shakur Stevenson then? Because he's overhyped too by ESPN.
Because the wrong complexion. They got to admit because he's the wrong color. That's why. It's the same thing for Usyk. He's the wrong color. That's what it is. The guy's got to be honest. Stop fucking lying. You know why you don't think he's better than Shakur, bro. Lomachenko makes Floyd Mayweather look like trash. Skill wise, that guy's so much. Yeah, he's so much better than him. It's not even close. That's how bad it is. That dude is like light years ahead of him in boxing skills.
One final thing.
Tap and grab. Come on, bro. That ain't boxing. It's trash.
I agree that Loma's better than Floyd. Skill-wise,
Floyd,
defensively, there's things that Floyd does that
like what, tap and run?
No, not running. Defensively, like rolling with shots. There's certain things that he does that Loma does not do. But overall, I would say yes, Loma is better than Floyd. He's also better than, even though he himself does not admit it, he's also better than Terrence Crawford.
All right, you guys bring up this.
I'm better than all those guys. Come on.
You guys bring up this. You guys bring up these subjects at the end of the show that
they're racist. They're racist. That's what it is. They're racist.
I know. It's things to tell. It's the truth. He is. He just is better. Like it's not.
Yes, he's technically better. He's far technically better.
Listen. You guys bring up this show, these subjects that could go on for hours at the end of the show. Always at the end of the show. I gotta say one.
No. I'm answering your question. because you said
I didn't ask you about whom
the core is like hot shit. Better than Loma.
I didn't ask you about Loma, Mayweather, and Crawford. But anyway, sticking to that subject a little bit though, because we gotta go here. This is the last thing for the today's show. Amir Khan. I
just got here.
Amir Khan came out a couple of days ago over there in Bangkok.
I thought he came out years ago.
No. Well, he's in Bangkok right now, so maybe that's the place to do it. But he's over there at the WBC convention over there in Bangkok, Thailand. And he says, and every other month, Khan comes out and has to bring up the fact that he could have beaten Pacquiao and Mayweather. He said this: "My days are over in the sport. I think it's about giving other people opportunities and letting them come up. I had a wonderful career, blah, blah, blah. I learned that, these young fighters should take a leaf through my book," because he fought everybody. Yeah, 100%. I learned that because they never wanted to fight me. That's why the fights never happened. It could have been, he said, it could have been, the thing is, it never happened. But on that night, I would have beat all of them. He's talking about the version of him that beat Maidana. That version, he says, I could have beat everybody. And honestly, that's the type of guy I am. I was always fighting on with my heart. I gave it my all. And at the peak of my career, when I took on Maidana and Devin Alexander, I was always taking big risks. What do you guys think? Did he stand a good chance with his style of beating Floyd Mayweather?
Well, we know Floyd ducked him. That's a fact.
Wait a minute.
He ducked him. He put out a what was it like a? He put out something. I think it was on his website where the people could choose the fighter. It was a poll, and they chose Amir Khan, and he's like, "Oh, okay, I'm fighting Maidana." That's what he did. He just chose Maidana. He didn't want to fight him. Oh, and then they also had a contracted fight, and Floyd pulled out of it. You know that? He said, "Oh, it's because Amir Khan announced the fight before me, so the fight's off." The dude is a bitch. He didn't want to fight him. So that is true. But Gino Maidana beat the shit out of Amir Khan, so I don't know, man. He's like, I could have beat Manny. I could have beat his ass. Look what I did to Maidana. Yeah, get beaten almost halfway to death. Like, if that was Manny Pacquiao, they would have killed him. And he ducked Manny. Manny wanted to fight him. Khan didn't want to fight him. So he's full of shit. Manny Pacquiao didn't duck that guy. That guy had a chin of glass. Manny probably would have knocked him out the first left hand in the first round.
Well, that's the thing, though, because Amir Khan did well against boxers because he was this dude. It's a shame he had a horrible chin because he did have the ability to not only throw fast, but he could throw fast throughout all 12 rounds. I've never really seen anything like it. He was really a physical marvel. I mean, the dude could.
He was similar to Bivol. He was an ambush fighter.
Yes, that's
true. He would fight
true.
you he would blitz you like a karate fighter does.
That's
like he
true.
comes
That's
true. And he jumps out.
But then again, the chin.
I mentioned it before. I just have to restate this. When he fought Marcos Maidana, Amir Khan, his chin showed up. His chin showed up that night.
Yeah, that's weird.
He says.
The fuck? Yeah, that's true though, Gonzalo. That's true that you would have thought Algieri managed to stun him. Not Juan Diaz, the other Diaz. What was the other Diaz? Juan. I think it was Jose Diaz.
Brother, what's his name?
I think it was Jose. No, it was Julio Diaz. Julio Diaz dropped him twice. So did that Colombian dude, that journeyman at welterweight. So you would think, hey, if those guys dropped him, Marcos Maidana was probably going to kill him. But then you go back to the past and you watch the fight. You go, no, Maidana, he stunned him, but he never dropped him.
He beat the shit out of him.
Yeah,
he had him up on the ropes and was punching his head off.
Right, so
he was almost dead. He was being held up by the rope.
Amir Khan actually looked the best when he fought boxers, like when he fought Devin Alexander and Luis Collazo.
Yes.
Both guys that were
lazy fighters, lazy fighters like Floyd. He eats those guys up.
He might have
he would have eaten up He would have eaten up Broner if they ever would have fought. Those slow workers, the thinkers, like a Shakur Stevenson would have been eaten up by Amir Khan if they were around at the same time and fought.
Right.
Because they don't work enough. You'll outwork them and you'll outspeed them. It's the thing, they're just one punch at a time.
We'll see that as well. With Amir Khan, the thing is with him, it's I think Floyd would have still beaten him, but the thing is, it would be very, very difficult. And just like Tank, his boy Tank, he's they don't like taking real tough challenges. Sometimes they probably would if the money is right, but at least Floyd would. Tank completely won't. Tank is a guy that would.
I think for every one punch Floyd would have landed, Khan would have hit him 8 times.
And he didn't want to take it. It was a really tough challenge at the time, and I think with him, maybe he had you guys saying one point he had a chin on him, and then he had no chin afterwards in his career. I think he probably had implants, with teeth when they put new
breast implants. I heard.
No, not breast implants. Teeth implants. He probably had teeth implants.
Breast implants.
Oh, his neck's got a little bigger,
Right, I know. Andy Ruiz is another guy that he got his teeth fucking.
Definitely.
Yeah, and then his chin is no more the same. He's kind of gun shy to engage. Andy Ruiz.
Well, apparently,
they got the mask special. They come in with a picture of Jim Carrey for the mask.
Apparently, that's the thing. Yeah, it's true. Shakur Stevenson apparently just repaired his teeth because he used to have a big gap in his
Oh, he
teeth,
did?
like a chimp. Yeah, apparently. So now people are saying that might actually hurt him because maybe that wide gap in his teeth allowed him to take punches, and now it's going to somehow rearrange that jaw, the skeletal structure. So I don't know. We'll see.
The wind went right through the middle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So listen, Amir Khan, I think he would have given. I don't know if he would have been Mayweather, but I think he would have given it. I think he would have given him.
I think he would have for sure beat Floyd.
BDA.
Yes.
He might. It might actually help up because he might be able to get a more tight bite on the gum shield. It might sound weird, but it's true. You clip the fucking gum shield with your no separation in between. Your whole fucking brain tightens up that much more solid. Your chin.
Yeah. Yep. You got to clench your teeth, bro. You got to have that gap in there. It holds onto the mouthpiece a little tighter.
Explains Usyk's gap tooth. It's a gap tooth phenomenon going on. So if you have a gap tooth, you have a good chance of being.
Hey, by the way, real quick, some guy in the chat named The Blame Boxing says, Khan was just fast, laughing my ass off. So was Manny, so was Zab, so was Mosley, so was Floyd. Floyd would have whooped him.
Yeah,
but does this dude not get the difference?
Did he say Mosley?
But that's what I was going to say. Mosley was what he used to call his style power boxing. Hooks and very few jabs, very little jabs. No, this dude was unlike any other guy. This was straight punches through and through, a shotgun jab, 1-2s, and he could throw all night long. And he would be giving Mayweather a taste of his own medicine by back foot bitching it around him. Floyd and Mayweather never fought again. That's why historically people have always said the guys who would give Mayweather trouble historically, De La Hoya with a great jab longer. Werner Forrest probably, they never fought obviously, but he probably could have done it. And of course, Tommy Hearns would have been a nightmare for the guy. So we never saw that. So if that's all this guy took
Floyd
from
didn't fight a single A-level. Wait, sorry.
Let me. If that's all this guy took from that, like, Amir Khan fast, LOL, then you obviously haven't really watched all these guys box.
All he's got is speed. Okay.
We can talk about Castano.
People still on that Floyd shit. Come on, bro. Look, he struggled with Ricky Hatton. He was losing round after round after round after round. What do you think Amir Khan's going to do to him? He's going to blitz him. You know how Hatton comes in? Hatton comes in all body. He comes in, rushes in and bull rushes usually not really with punches. But remember when he did leap in with the left hook or the left straight and he would come in with punches, Floyd was getting hit. He was getting hit with stuff. And so if that's Amir Khan and he blitzes right in, blah, 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 and he's throwing 1-2, he's throwing like all these shit. But bro, that guy's not going to do anything but eat those punches. He ain't gonna be doing a fucking shoulder roll in the middle of the ring.
The Blame Boxing says Floyd never fought on the front foot. He's asking.
He's trashing
So he fought on the front foot against old Sharmbray Mitchell. He fought on the front foot against Zab one punch at a time Judah, and against DeMarcus Corley. That's it.
He did it versus Ortiz as well.
He's probably gonna bring up Mosley. Mosley hadn't fought in over a year. People like to discredit Lomachenko when he beat.
He was old.
Hold on. People like to discredit Lomachenko when he. People like to discredit Lomachenko when he beat the axe murderer, whatever. What was his name again? Walters. But for some reason, when he fights Shane Mosley, that's a prime Shane Mosley. Shane Mosley was old and had been out of the ring for over a year. So, but by the way,
look, if you look at Floyd on the front foot, he's absolute garbage. He's terrible on the front foot. That's why go watch the Miguel Cotto fight and see what happens to Floyd when he fights a guy who's got a jab when Floyd is on the front foot. All he does is eat jabs. And his defense is absolute garbage on the front foot. Dude, he was getting hit with shots from Conor McGregor. I mean, come on. This guy was never good on the front foot. This is why he ran away like a bitch his whole career.
If by the way, timed by Danny Garcia, he could get timed by Floyd Mayweather. I mean, people timed Mayweather. It's not like he never got hit. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this dude. I mean, listen.
Nobody touched Floyd, right? Like nobody was able to touch Floyd.
Yeah,
a bunch of people touched Floyd.
Hey, speaking of. Real quick, guys, because we gotta go. Real quick, because we gotta go.
Hey, by the way, after the show, we're doing a watch along. We're gonna watch Vargas Trinidad, and then we're gonna rewatch what's the fuck that boring ass fight, Haney versus Norman Jr. Because I'm doing a video and I want to get some.
So
I want people to break it down. So we're doing the right after this.
Yeah, Bucho, this whole Terrence Crawford comment will. We'll save it for the next show. We'll put that.
No, do it now. Just quickly.
All right. So Terrence Crawford posted this. Terrence Crawford tweeted this out. He said, "I respect Manny," talking about Pacquiao, I guess. "Don't get it twisted, but he's been knocked out more than once. If you know boxing, then you know he would have had to take a lot of chances with me, and I'm definitely not the one to chance with if you know what you're watching." Just ask his coach.
That dude is such a bitch. It's insane. He's such a pussy. You know, he had an opportunity to fight Old Manny. They let him bypass it. He was supposed to fight Manny, and that dude is so butthurt. He just keeps going on and on about Manny.
Yeah.
At one time, he alluded to him being a drug cheat, and this is coming from a guy that is clearly a drug cheat. Like, you saw the way he looked in that Canelo fight. He was fucking massive.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, but then he blames Pacquiao for juicing, and he was never caught. That's what they always say, right? Oh, he was never caught. Well, Pacquiao wasn't caught.
Okay, Manny was never caught either, right?
But if you say that Crawford is on something that is fishy, that he moves up all the way to 168, doesn't lose his power and speed and everything. Oh no, you're just a hater. Yeah, you're a hater. You're a hater.
Can I clarify what Fu was saying? Can I clarify what Fu was saying?
Crawford's clearly on juice.
Well, let me just clarify what you were saying, Fu, is that they asked him if he considered Manny Pacquiao great or a Mount Rushmore, and he said no because of the allegations and suspicions. So now when people ask me, well, let me just finish. When people ask me if I have him pound for pound, I say no, because I'm going to do the same thing he's saying about Pacquiao. If we're just going to throw allegations and discredit you, then he's not on my pound for pound list. Fuck him, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. Look, that doesn't make sense because this is coming from a drug cheat. That dude, no one can tell me that 38-year-old man ain't on shit because he came in there massive. I saw him in the back when they were illegally greasing his ass up. That dude was massive. He had these big-ass arms. He grew a lot since he fought Madrimov. That guy took so much shit, it's crazy. And he went 12 fucking rounds throwing nonstop punches. Not that he was landing them, but he would not stop throwing punches. And he wasn't even slightly gassed. Dude, at the end of 12 rounds, this fucking dude wasn't even slightly gassed. That is so, like, I never see stuff like that in boxing outside of a guy who's highly juiced. Who knows?
Listen, I'll say this, because I think most guys, I've said it since we've been on the air for years now, that I think most of these dudes, top dudes, they're all on something. So that's one thing.
Yeah. But to accuse somebody while you're taking shit.
That's what I'm saying. But here's the thing about Terence Crawford is, he's the type of guy, I've never really seen any other pound for pounder before. Maybe Mayweather. But other than that, I've never seen any other number one pound for pounder complain as much as he does on Twitter. Even after Spence, he was still complaining. Oh, they don't give me my credit. Well, who cares what people think? He beats Canelo finally. He's still complaining about Manny Pacquiao wouldn't be able to fuck with me, blah, blah, blah. So I think it all goes back to his, again, I'm being armchair psychologist here, but I saw one time an in-depth feature about his life or whatever. His mother apparently is a bit of a harpy. I think his father wasn't in the picture. So this dude evidently has a chip on his shoulder. That's why whenever people bring up about the fact that he got shot in the head. Did you ever think why he got shot in the head? Where the hell was he that he put himself in a situation where somebody's going to take a shot?
I heard he was grabbing some dude's buns.
Well, BDA, I know you're trying
Wait a minute.
BDA, I know you're BDA. I'm not
let me finish. So what I'm saying is sometimes the thing that drives people to succeed can also be the thing that's never going to allow them to be happy. And that's what this guy seems to me. He's got a bunch of children. He won't stop cheating on his wife. He won't stop complaining. He hangs around with some shady characters. So I don't know. It just seems like, you got to be able to, at some point you got to, my goodness gracious, go ahead.
Well, BDA, it's still the same subject, but I get these guys are sensitive. Shakira was mad at Kuckinger because I guess he dissed him and he challenged him to a boxing match. And he was serious. God. He's like, yeah, after I beat Tio, I want to challenge you. I'll beat you guys both in the same night. These guys
does that sound?
Didn't Shakur also say meet me in front of the gas station or something like that?
Yeah, he's talking. These guys are sensitive. They can't handle any criticism. It's like if you don't lick their boots, kiss their ass, then you're racist or you don't like. It's just I've never seen anything like it.
It becomes personal.
Sport of running.
I mean, I see a video of Crawford talking to a girl, and the girl says something negative towards him, and he's like, apologize, like straight up, like, bro, like you're so fucking broken. I'm like, you better, like you could have took it as a joke. I'm gonna be a bigger man. I mean, be a man in general, like. The fuck are you like making this bitch apologize in front of everybody? It looks so wrong in so many different ways. But I said, okay, guess that he doesn't like anybody talking shit. I guess it makes kind of sense. But there are things that like what you guys talking about Pacquiao, right?
They don't like criticism.
I know Pacquiao is. This is my belief. You guys are going to argue, or you're going to disagree. But let me say my piece before you say anything afterwards. think Pacquiao did duck him, but because stylistically, it's just not a good matchup for him.
Well, Manny didn't duck Crawford, dude. That's not even up for debate.
I know.
He didn't duck him. He wanted to fight him. Bob Arum protected Crawford. That's on record. That's on record.
For God's sake,
dude, that's on record.
But okay, I trust your word, but that's my opinion because of stylistically, I just don't see it being a good matchup for Pacquiao. He'll just walk into something.
Well, the matchmakers thought that Crawford was going to get his ass whooped. That's what they did. The matchmakers didn't want him to fight Manny because they thought Manny was going to beat the fuck out of him. That was their goal.
Listen. This is you guys get into this. You guys get into this fucking. All right, Gypsy. You guys get into this fucking long ass debates. We gotta go. All I'll say is this:
4 more hours.
Crawford is probably never gonna fight Pacquiao. I don't think Pacquiao this.
Oh no, he's not. He's not.
So what I'm saying
is, if he fights him and loses,
he can talk all he wants about. Oh, I would have knocked out. I mean, it seems like that's what he's trying to suggest. That I would. But here's the thing: Pacquiao won his first title in the flyweight division. Went up all the way to welterweight, being a 5 feet 5 inch guy, and ended up stomping bigger guys or beating them up.
Yep.
Crawford, when he had the chance to do that, he fights Canelo, and what does he do? 8-4 decision, and they call that a whooping. That's all I'm saying. So listen, we gotta go.
Look, a coward dies 1,000 deaths. That's what's going on with Crawford right now.
That's what I was trying to get at, bro. That's what I was trying to say. I was trying to say that how can you disrespect this dude that is smaller than you? Went up he's an 8th division champion. Yes, he might have ducked you. So this is my opinion. Yet again, do not.
Oh my God!
All right. Stop filler busting. This is just listen, Gypsy. I'm going to give you some advice. I'm going to give you some advice. Stop trying to soften the blow by saying this is just my opinion. We know it's your opinion. You don't have to say it. Also,
what I'm trying to say is. It doesn't matter if you ducked him or he ducked you. This guy is a Hall of Famer and he's one of the greats in boxing. And you're sitting there and telling him, "No, he's nothing." I don't like that, bro. I don't. I think that's a very low. He's
bunching up. He's bunching up.
All right. Listen. We gotta go. All
right. We're gonna go to the BDA main channel.
All right. So let me just announce this. Thank you, Frank. Okay, first of all, let me just do a little send off here. So Bucho's gonna be doing a watch party, fight party. I don't even know if it's really a party, but let's call it that. Why not? The more the merrier.
It's a party.
He's gonna be rewatching
Fiesta.
It's the 25th anniversary of Fernando Vargas versus Felix Trinidad. A great fight, a great Christmas season card. Right, yeah. So they're going to be watching that, and then they're going to be watching Haney versus Norman because Bucho wants to record people's commentary because he's doing a video about that fight. And
nice.
So he's putting. All right. So Bucho
I'm exposing the hype, the nonsense that Haney did a great job, and who did he fight? Oh, everything's going to be on that video. It's going to be beautiful.
All right, so Bucho is posted the link there in the chat. Go check it out. Anybody can join. Anybody can just join up. If you're not part of Discord, it's very easy. Just click, write an email. You don't even have to verify. I don't think. Just write an email, get your password. Remember the password because people forget it all the time, and then you can join the.
They'll figure it out, man.
I know. I'm just trying to get as many people in there as possible. So shout out to Fu, shout out to Sobers, shout out to Gypsy, shout out to Gonzalo. Bucho, my co-host, and of course Frank Bay as well coming in. Shout out to you fellas. Thank you for joining us. And I want to give a big shout out to everybody who donated via the super chat. Oh, excuse me, super chat. There was a super chat. Shout out to. Hold on a second. Well, you guys can live if you want. Go get that show ready.
You want me out of here? What?
No, I'm saying, Bucho, go to the main BDA Discord. That's where Bucho's going to be showing the.
Oh, that's where it's going down, huh?
That's where it's all going down. It's
all going down there.
The second circle of hell down there. But go down to the main Discord, and I want to give a shout out to Skull Kid, who said, "Take care, guys." Thank you, Skull Kid. Thank you for your contribution, man. Really appreciate it. And shout out to everybody who joined us here in the chat. I'm talking about Parokua, Skull Kid, Rafael Garza, Pancho Villa, Morb DC, Skull Kid. By the way, everybody that called in, didn't mean to rush anybody, but we're running a tight-knit show here. We got to keep on moving. Shout out to the Blame Boxing, who was there complaining about Mayweather. Siphon PX, Parokua, Rafael Garza. Shout out to Rafael Garza, one of the initiated. Skyman, Phil Miles. Skyman hitting that note. Larry Liston.